All right, so hello, internet friends, family, fellow shifters and dreamers from across the world. You are listening to another paradigm shift team building video hangout podcast thing that we got going on for December 16th. And once again, I'm joined here. My name is Brendon, and I am joined here by some amazing people from across the world. So let's get the people in the hangout to say hello to everyone. So say hello to the internets, guys. Say
Hello,
hello.
Ni hao, internet!
How's it going?
Hello.
Hello,
Awesome.
everybody.
Cool. Okay, guys. So for those of you who have been tuned in the last couple of weeks, you know that there's been some pretty exciting stuff. And to just give you like a super simple overview, the Paradigm Shift Team Building Hangouts are related to the Paradigm Shift Project. And the Paradigm Shift Project is something that began over 7 years ago. And right now, what it is transforming into is pretty much a real-life interactive video game to be able to help assist in the evolution of consciousness. And that has a lot to do with the website, paradigmshiftcentral.com, or technically paradigmshiftlive.com, or yeah, paradigmshiftcentrallive.com, and we're updating it so that eventually right now there's like the original archive, which you can technically find right now at paradigmshiftcentral.com, but that's going to be archived, and the traffic is going to be redirected to our new platform that we've currently been referring to as LiveNet, and through there it's going to be its own social media network. So in the same way as to like how Facebook works, and you know, like how even MySpace works, the Paradigm Shift Central website is going to be a platform for this video game. And this is what we were talking about last week. And the objective of the video game is to, among other things, to create conscious media, and also to be able to help build physical communities where you are. So building physical communities is what we refer to as paradigm shift communities, and they have regular open-minded discussion meditation groups every now and then. But that's kind of like totally something that some people hop on, but there's other people who are totally busy with like other projects, and whether you're calling it a paradigm shift community or not, that's kind of secondary to just being able to get involved with some sort of community action, and to be able to help take part and assist in the shift in consciousness in the creative ways that you can. So what we're going to do in this broadcast hangout is one of the things I want to talk about is actually what does effective conscious media look like. And just to give you, well, I'll just explain. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to get a little bit of an update from our fellow shifter friends who are joining us here in the hangout and get to know them. We got some regulars in here. We got Paul from the UK. We got Monica from Chicago. We got Jimmy. Jimmy, where are you from? I forget. If you wanna, you got your mute on right now, Jimmy. Where's Jimmy from? Quick, everybody guess. Somewhere north of Connecticut. I don't
Somewhere
know
in the
geography.
center.
Somewhere in the center.
Somewhere in the center. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Cool.
Yeah.
Jimmy from Oklahoma. And we got Matthew, who is joining us. And Matthew is on the east coast of Canada, in New Brunswick. So welcome, Matthew. Hey, Matthew. How's it going? Welcome to the Hangout, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Awesome. You're here just in time, man.
Thanks.
Cool. And we also have our friend Nathaniel, who some of you may know. And Nathaniel, you can just say hi to the internet people as well. And you're still in California, I think, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi, internet people as well. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So we're gonna hear a little bit from our friends here, and basically the idea behind doing this is to be able to build a relationship with them through being able to share our stories, and also through you, the audience, to be able to be inspired by the ongoing stories that we're sharing, and ultimately encouraging you to continue to be involved with this project in a way that works for you. Some people like to watch, but we really want to encourage people to get involved in forms of hangouts, such as what we got, and the next level would be being a player, being like a shifter through the Paradigm Shift Central website. And so just some of the things, and obviously like being able to, and being a shifter is part of it is like the real life action of doing free hugs and Shiftivism. But at this point, if you're not familiar with that, I would just recommend going back and listening to some of the other recordings that we got. Just to give you some quick updates. Right now, the world is at a very interesting point because Star Wars is coming out in a couple days, so there's like a lot of hype, and I'm working on a video right now, and it's going to be called "The Secret Reason People Love Star Wars," and basically it's getting into the idea as to how real is the concept of the Force, and how obviously a lot of people see the Star Wars movies, and for the longest time it was just sort of categorized as science fiction, but now more and more people are opening up to the idea that the Force is actually something quite real to what is actually going on in terms of our interconnectedness and the potential of the conscious mind. Speaking of Star Wars, a new person has joined the Hangout, so hello Star, welcome to the Hangout that we got going on here.
Hey, it's cool. It's Tony.
Hey, Tony.
The name Starweaver on here, so yeah.
Oh, cool. Hey, Tony. Tony, we're just gonna go through some introductions, and then we'll get everybody to get involved here. But Tony, just say hi to the internet people real quick, if you would like.
Hey, internet people.
Woo. Cool.
Stage.
All right, and Tony, if we can just switch over to, what was that?
I said, and may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Yeah, I'm out of Oklahoma also.
That's awesome. We got more people out of Oklahoma. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so Tony, if you can just switch over to mute real quick, we'll just
Sure.
go through this. Thanks, man. So basically, just filling you guys in on what I've been up to. A main part of it has really been updating the main website, which I just encourage you to go and look at. The main things that you'll find there, in addition from last week, there's again, I don't want to spend too much time going over the same stuff that I talked about last week, but the layout is all different. It's a lot more optimized. If you click on the top banner or just go to the main website, there you'll see what is called the global activity tree, and you can take a look at that and you can see some of the cool things. So the cool things that I'll just mention are the way the news feeds are set up, where they're divided between the central news, the conscious articles, and the quest journals. And again, the quest journals are the things where you really just use those as a chance to practice, and then the conscious articles are things that are going to be a little bit more refined in terms of media, and then through the magic of the internet, we'll promote those through platforms such as Facebook and other ways, and those will be included into the main feed that people will be able to get notifications about through the addition of the newsletter. And right at the top of the website, you'll see the option to get media and news notifications via email. So that is in working order, so if you want to get signed up for the media news notifications, you can do that and add your email to that. The other main things are the 2D and 3D timeline that you can check out, and if you just browse the menus at the top again, you'll see the Your Journey page, which is like your profile. You'll be able to add in your own customized HTML into that, so it'll be kind of like going back to the MySpace days, and think about your profile as kind of being a landing page to showcase your media that you're creating. So that will be something that you can send to people and be like, hey, you know, this is some stuff that I'm working on right now, so you guys can check it out. So that is just one of the cool things that we got going on. And yeah, the other stuff that I'm going to be updating along the way. And just to give you the brief rundown, the video that I'm releasing about Star Wars is going to be building some. The intention behind that is to obviously like get some conscious ideas out there, but to also build our audience. So any of the videos that any of us do that are intended to reach a wider audience are going to collectively build the audience for the entire community, which is the really cool thing about this. So we're all tapping into that like global audience in that sense. So that's like yeah. So I'll be releasing that video in the next day, and then I'll be working on another video for the conscious movie review of Star Wars. And in terms of just other community news, this is leading up. On the December 21st, we're going to do a global meditation, and this is something that we mentioned last week. And the global meditation is going to be themed around Star Wars, and it's going to be a global Jedi activation meditation. So you guys can get pretty excited about that. I know I am, and that'll be really fun. So we'll get there when we get there, but just stay tuned for that. That'll be Monday evening, probably around 9 p.m. EST, same time we normally do it. So, and again, the 21st, and I'll give you guys a really cool idea, and then we'll switch over into talking to everybody else here. One of the really cool ideas that I want to get into with the meditation is actually sort of this idea of temporal, I don't know if there's actually a phrase for it yet. Maybe you guys can help me with this. But the idea is that I want to use the meditation to go back in time to 2012, to actually put seeds into 2012. To 2012, and to put intention for like growth and prosperity and, you know, knowledge and experience, anything else that we want to put into that, and literally put that into that, and then to be able to understand that like that is actually what has been growing over these past 4 years to where we are now. So it's kind of like this, I know 4 years, craziness. So it's kind of like this really neat idea that I haven't really seen, or at least I'm not aware of too many meditations that have focused around this, but kind of, again, like thinking about time in a non-linear sense, and then like coming out of the meditation and feeling the reality that you've created with the concept that you've like gone back in time and planted seeds, and to presume, and again, it gets like really into this time paradox sort of thing in terms of like, you know, like had you always planted those seeds, like were they always there, was it inevitable? It's kind of like this like interesting thing. So we'll play around with that, and yeah, if you guys have a phrase for that. We'll figure it out. But other than that, in terms of updates, I would just encourage you guys to start posting your quest journals. Sign up for the website if you haven't done that yet, but start posting your quest journals soon. You're welcome to start doing that. There's just a few more updates that I have to do with the website, but other than that, is mostly fully functional. And so if you want to start posting quest journals, do that, because those will be seen soon by the like incoming audience from like the new Star Wars video that will be released, as well as just like general promotion in general. So, and definitely go check out the Paradigm Shift Central TV if you haven't seen that yet. That's really fun, because that uses, again, I mentioned, but it uses like a random algorithm, so it's like drawing a tarot card, and every time you open it up, it like plays a random video from a playlist of like over 400 videos that we've been making, and when you guys make videos, we'll add them to that playlist, so that'll be pretty cool. So that's pretty much it, just in terms of news updates. That's like what the shift has been looking like from my end of things for the past while, is working on that this whole week, and it's really come along, and there's been a lot of progress with it. And there are other updates, but I'll just get into them another time. And yeah, with that said, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and sign up for the newsletter, and I look forward to being able to see you guys use the platform as a way to be able to expand your own journey and all that cool stuff. So that'll be neat. Cool, guys. Okay, let's just like get everybody unmuted here just for a second, and we'll just like be able to touch base with everyone. So how's everyone doing today?
Woo! Awesome.
Cool.
Spectacular.
Do you guys any questions or comments on the topic of the website before we move on?
Topic.
Nice job.
Thanks for all your hard work you're putting into that.
Seriously.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I said this to Skull earlier. I'm not sure how many people realise how much work you've actually put into it. Facebook's done by hundreds of people, thousands of people. You're doing that all on your own, and you could take it for granted how actually awesome that website actually is. And you haven't. I know you haven't even started yet. That's just the groundwork.
Yeah.
But it's already impressive.
Very
Thanks,
much
Paul.
so.
Thanks.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of programming myself, and that coding is very impressive.
Thanks, man. Like, I mean, it's not totally from scratch. It uses a platform called Ning, but I totally, like, within the last 2 weeks, I've totally done some crazy hacks, like using CSS, and actually, like, half of it is like it's actually 2 websites combined into one. So there's some aspects on it that are like from another website that I embed as an iframe. So if that makes sense to you guys. But,
dude, I don't care if it's a website created out of bits from McDonald's. It's still an awesome website. You've done that yourself. I've been trying to build up something similar with the way of like a social side, and I don't have the skills you have. You've got some serious Jedi skills there, and the force is definitely with you, and so it should be recognised that you have pretty much done that. Whatever you've done, however you've cooked it together, you've still pretty much done it on your own. So that should be acknowledged. And like I say, I know it's only the starters. It's only the beginning, and it can only get better.
And
hey, what do I know?
And I'll just one thing I just forgot to mention with the upcoming video for the Star Wars stuff, like it's also going to be a call to action for people to become real life Jedis. Like that's kind of like what the message is out of it. It's just like it's just saying, so if you feel like you can become a Jedi, then that's because that seed is already inside of you, and like that seed is awakening, and that's like what this whole Jedi, Star Wars thing is going on right now. Like it literally is the Force awakening. So I literally break it down to the quite literal aspects and say, like now is the time of like the Jedi coming back into reality and everything. And this website is a website for building a team of Jedi. Again, like the Jedis are the ones who are holding the light, who are shifting their own consciousness, who are doing what they can to help change the world and alleviate suffering. So think about it that way. That's what this website is becoming. It's like a social network for shifters, for Jedi. So in that sense, it's really cool. There's one other thing I was going to mention, but I think I'm forgetting it right now.
Well, one thing about Jedi is there's also the Jedi of Egypt. Jedi. I don't know how much those are similar, but I know that
Jedi.
Whenever he originally created the Jedi, he based it off of the Shaolin.
Yeah. It was Shaolin and the samurai as well. A lot of the sword work was based very much on the samurai stuff. Hence why I don't know if you guys have actually know too much. There's Luco Sports, and Luco Sports is sponsored by George Lucas, and they originated from Italy, and they're going all over Europe, and they're literally training up Jedi and Sith. And they're using it's actual martial art techniques, and certain martial art techniques are Jedi, and certain martial art techniques are the Sith. And you start off as an apprentice, go up to Padawan, become a knight, and eventually become, like a master. And they're actually using the combat lightsabers to do this. And actually, me and a friend of mine who do Qigong, we do Qigong and martial arts, we're actually setting up an independent school, going to do a similar sort of thing of using the lightsabers, but the idea is to use Qigong, which is basically Luke Skywalker lifting rocks and all that sort of thing. That's what Qigong is. And the word Jedi comes from the D-Jedi, which is the Pillar of Light. So anyway, I'll shut up.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the Jedi totally some more, and I know there's a lot to talk about that. So cool. Okay, thanks again, guys. Again, there was something that I was going to mention, but if I think about it, I'll tell you guys. But other than that, I'd love to be able to just move this into some introductions. And again, so what we'll do, we'll give you guys a chance to hold on to the talking stick, say who you are, and then where you're from, and some of your interests if you're brand new, and some of the things that you do like within like conscious community. Like what do you do to be able to help assist in the shift in consciousness? So whether that's your art, whether that be direct community involvement, or whether, again, like we said, like whether that's just like being a hermit and working on that inner work, because that's totally equally as important. Cool. Well, I'd love to be able to pass this over to Nathaniel if he wants to go first. Just again, since he's new here, and the people listening to this won't be able to hear it, but you have a beautiful head of hair right now.
They won't be able to hear my hair?
Or maybe they will.
They like rub it on the microphone or something? Thank you. Yeah. It's really great to be here.
Everyone else will mute ourselves. I think I was... Okay, yeah, go ahead, dude. All you.
Thanks, Skull. Yeah, it's great to be here. It's nice to feel new again, even though I've definitely been a part of the paradigm shift community for a few years now at this point, and it's astonishing to see how it's grown and all the things that you're stepping into and everything that you've created through this, and how even still it's just the beginning. Like, it's still just a seed within a seed within a seed, and I think that says a lot to the potential that this has, that you're continuing to build such a powerful sort of foundation to all of this. I think this whole community, its intentions, and everything that branches off from it is so important, because we have the internet and we have the ability to make these kinds of connections. And I give a lot of kudos to leaders like you, Brendon. Really commit yourself to bringing people together and being able to do these types of things. For those of you that don't know me, I've been involved in very similar work for almost 7 years now. Been making YouTube videos and starting online communities and working with people online. I personally have been a life coach, health coach, spiritual coach, business coach, all these sorts of things. I'm a very just kind of strategic guy, and my life purpose is really just to serve people and help people achieve whatever goals and results they're trying to create in their life. So I love being a part of communities like this, because it's all a bunch of people who have really amazing goals and really amazing ambitions and passions and things they want to do. And so it's, really nice to just be on this call and kind of weave myself back in and kind of see what you guys are up to and what's exciting for you, and just everything that's being created. So I really appreciate you having me on.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's really cool. Again, for people who might not be familiar, like Nathaniel and I have been crossing paths for about, like 4 or 5 years now. So go check the Paradigm Shift Radio archive. You can find some episodes there. And I'll definitely, with him and everybody else, I'll include his links into the show notes through the Paradigm Shift Central website link for this show. But you can definitely, Nathaniel, you can let them know your main links now. And then I was just going to say, if you want to just tell them a little bit more about some things that you're involved with within the conscious community specifically, like any projects that you're working on right now or anything coming up that you want to let us know about, by all means. Okay.
Thank you. That's great. It's like an invitation to plug my stuff.
Go for it, man.
You guys can feel free to learn more about me or contact me at my website, which is my name, nathanielsolis.com. And you can also find me on Instagram under the same name, and on Facebook. And I'm involved in the community in a lot of different ways right now. I have, a lot of it's behind the scenes, really. A lot of it's, different coaching and consulting clients, whether it's different projects or businesses. Over the last 3 months, I've actually been working on the latest crowdfunding campaign for an amazing consciousness shifting film called Be Brave, that you guys can learn more about at bebravemovie.com. And that's just, this is a really incredible project. Like, talk about paradigm shifting. I don't want to get into everything about the movie, but just go to that website and check it out, and you can watch the trailer there and stuff. And that's really profound. And the other project I'm super excited about right now, something that I like to do a lot, is create different training programs for people, whether that's just on productivity or having a happier life, having a healthier life, helping people with their businesses, projects. And I have one coming up that's kind of like utilizing the whole new year and really being able to step into a more powerful and positive and productive place in your life, and it's called the Life Hacker Blueprint. And the idea is basically utilizing different tools and strategies that I've been able to use in my own life to completely amplify everything about my life, my health, my happiness, what I'm able to accomplish in the world, and taking in a small to dive into these concepts. And you guys can, I'd say, if you want to learn more about it, actually you could go to lifehackermastermind.com to learn more about that, or just find me and send me a message and talk to me. But and I'm building, I have a whole other thing I'm building that's going to be launching in January that I can't think about yet, but definitely if you are digging my vibe or want to learn more, just feel free to reach out to me. So thanks for letting me plug.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, I actually, I'll just ask you one more question, and then we'll pass the stick around because I think you got a good perspective on this. Again, a big part of the Paradigm Shift Central project is really about the conscious media that goes along with it, and really realizing the power of media, the power of creating a video that has a message behind it, and then that message can inspire someone, and it can shift their paradigm. I was just going to say, to give people some more insight, what do you feel is like the value of a good piece of conscious media, just in relation to like your experience with the Be Brave movie, which, yeah, I definitely recommend people go check out if they're not familiar with it. Like, the long story short of it, it's about like a young man who was like very much like interested in the metaphysical nature of reality in the same way many of us are, and basically traveled the world filming himself, and then he died of like bone cancer in a very sort of mysterious and synchronistic way, and then this movie is being made by his sister as well as a production crew, including friends of ours such as Mickey and Mickey Willis, and Nathaniel has been again involved with like the behind the scenes aspect and the promotion as well. But yeah, being so close to a project like that, like, what do you feel is the real potential behind conscious media in this day and age?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, honestly, it's probably will play one of the more prominent roles in shifting this planet, as it already has. And in so many ways, in so many ways, it's actually caused the problems that the planet has right now. And now it's a matter of us really taking reins on the media and the stuff that gets put out there. Everyone born in the last, 65 years has been watching television. And we've been imprinted very, very profoundly by that. And all the things that we see on TV and all the things we see in the movies and in magazines and whatever form of media you want to call it. And you can just simply see even scrolling through your Facebook feed that all it takes is very simple little pieces of media that are making massive, massive shifts in the world. Videos that end up getting, hundreds of millions of views and actually not just inspire people. That's a big emphasis that I think is important for us to start to realize and step beyond to the next level. People are getting addicted to all the content and just being inspired and scrolling through your feed, and you see, ooh, NASA did this, and ooh, new scientist says DNA can this, da-da-da, and it's like all these cool little things, and then you just scroll through Facebook for 2 hours, and then what? And then we're not doing anything about it, and it's not actually making a difference. So I think the next shift with the media is, how do we take this amazing information that is coming forth in the world and make it really applicable for people? The media I'm really excited about is really the way we use media for education. And of course the way we can use media socially and for entertainment and to grab attention is really important, and that's a really, really valuable tool. And I think that's something we're just starting to realize, how to sharpen that sword and be able to use that to grab people's attention in a way that feels really good. And that's why you see so many inspiring videos moving around the internet. But I think the next step is when those inspiring videos are connected to tangible, actionable causes that isn't just asking you to share the post so that their magazine or their whatever can have more views and more likes on Facebook. Liking a cool page on Facebook that shares conscious content doesn't really make a difference. It helps to know that there's more people interested and to build that, but we got to get to that next level, which is, how do we make it, actionable content? How do we actually teach people things? And that's a role I feel really inspired to be involved in, and is, how do we actually craft that media and craft that education so that it's really approachable, so that it can't easily be judged and come across as new age this or that, or some hippie this or that. And because this stuff is real, this stuff is really important. Like, meditation is a real thing, affects the body. Like, science has gone over the hill with that. Like, you can't deny it, but even still it gets put in a category, and it takes all of people like us stepping into that next level and putting in the extra effort and really taking the time to make sure that all this media and all this stuff can actually reach people and actually give them something to do. So to answer your question a little more specifically, I think media really will play and is playing probably the biggest role in shifting the consciousness of humanity on this planet. And you can tell just by, everybody, it's right here. Here it is. Everybody, all day, And when we can really get a grip on that and really, really influence that in a way, which we are more and more, that's just going to keep shifting things in a really exponential way. So,
yeah. That's great, man. And for the people who again, like, part of you will hear this just as an MP3 podcast. Nathaniel, when he said look right here or this right here, he was holding up like his smartphone and touching it. So again, like, that's, yeah, you're right. Like, people are sort of like drawn in and just it's media has like its own gravitational field to it. So when you think like you can create something that is healthy, you can create something that is like promoting good ideas, and that in itself will be able to draw people in the same way, like it's reaching, it's sort of touching upon the same psychology as to like why people are sharing the things that may be less sort of world changing yet still something they want to share. In terms of like the media, I'll again, like, I really want to create this the reason why this project is created is to be able to share your guys' media, to be able to give all of us a collective global audience, and that's what we're going to be able to see more in the future as this project continues to evolve. But one thing I was just going to say real quick is that, in terms of the why people share things online, oftentimes the reason why people share things online is they like to share things that like make them look a certain way. And what I mean by that is, like, if they see something funny and they share something funny, then people will think they're funny, or if they see something really happy, if they see something really inspirational, it will make them want to share that because it will make them think that people will see them that way. I'm not saying this is always the case, but sometimes, like, within, like, big groups, this is like an important pattern to observe. So you want to think about that. Why should somebody share your video? Like, what message can your video have that would be valuable for them to share? And so, again, like, with like the Star Wars video that I got coming up, it's going to be a little bit longer of a video. So, I mean, that's kind of narrowing the audience a little bit, but there are, like, longer videos that really do still attract a lot of interest, and they oftentimes get into a more engaged presentation. But again, like this video, I say, like, share this video if you want to help your friends awaken to the Jedi within them. Like, what is a call to action sort of thing? So there's so many layers to conscious media, and this project is designed for us to be able to explore them. And I will say, I did remember what I was going to talk about earlier, but I'll talk about it a little bit later on as well. So we'll just get back to that. But yeah, like, just kind of opening up the talking stick to any of you guys, just while we're on the topic of conscious media. If you guys have any questions, or just like any perspectives that you want to share on that, or even any ideas that you have for upcoming videos you'd be interested in making, and we'll just pass that stick around. Monica, did you want to?
Yeah, I was going to share something for a second, but it slipped my mind what I was going to say. But I was going to reference back to the Be Brave movie, because I remember when you had them on the radio show, which I feel like was in 2013 or something like that. It was a significant point in my life for me to remember. But it's also amazing, too, because they were just saying how they had to remake the movie 2 times now because they found additional footage in random places. 4 times?
4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
3,000 hours of footage.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow. So incredible. Yeah, and just to think, like, those are like activation points in the video game almost, like, I feel like his sister reached a point and her brother was just like, hold on, wait, like, you're missing something, like, just constantly communicating with her, and it's awesome. That movie's so exciting. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to show it to you. It's cool because I get to actually see the new footage that's getting put in, and it's really powerful. I've never seen anything more powerful. I've never been more touched by a film, so I'm super grateful that it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah, and Brendon, I was just gonna say when you were saying earlier for what word you were looking for the time jump thing.
Yeah, what do we got?
You've seen Interstellar, right?
Yeah.
You know the ghost, like the ghost part, where they're
Yeah.
touching through the dimension and
What do they
influencing the
say?
past, kind of deal.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know
know
what
what
you're
word
talking
they
about.
had, but I'm sure they said something. It should be the same thing.
That's
Maybe
actually
we do
amazing that you had mentioned that, because I do my most common like meditation that I do is actually me connecting with myself in the future. That's that I already know is sending stuff back to me right now,
Huh.
which is kind of cool. I don't as often like send stuff to the me back there, but it's like me actually already receiving what's already coming to me. So
Yeah.
that'll be super fun. I'm down to take part in that.
Cool, man. Like, I love playing around with that idea because it gets into this again, this multidimensional perspective of us actually being our own guardian angels, if you want to use that term. Again, like that's just sort of like the idea of like higher consciousness, like the parts of ourselves that are beyond just what we commonly recognize as like the physical and everything like that. But yeah, like I totally had a moment just earlier in the week when I was like sitting on my computer, and some reason or another I just like thought back to me sitting at a computer at my old house and me being like 13 years old on a computer, and I'm just like yeah, I'm just gonna send my like 13-year-old self some love right now. And I just sort of like meditated on that with the idea that like I could imagine me being that 13-year-old self, like imagining my future self at the same time. So like just sort of do that, like every now and then think about your future self and think about your past self and just send them love. Like there's actually a very interesting idea that is sort of unlocked there that can only be unlocked by actually doing it. It's one of those things where it's like, oh well, it probably like it can either mean nothing and then you can just never try doing anything with it, or maybe it can mean something and you can actually bring it into your reality and see what something it becomes for you. So.
Yeah, even if you're just putting it in the category of placebo, it's like the placebo is really powerful.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of work even been done. I know certain researchers and scientists who specifically do that kind of work with people, where they'll have people who will have certain trauma they've experienced that's wiring their brain a certain way, and then they simply go into a meditation, give their past experience a different meaning, and it changes the way their brain is physically hardwired in real time, like in this moment. So it can be that real. It just
even medical placebos. There's actual medical facts that say that 60% of the placebos, because there's a certain thing that different medications that go out they have a standard placebos, because as the neutral, the test, and 60% of placebos actually work, and it's like that's like a mind blast right there. Is that what you're saying, that 60% of the placebos of different medication that people think they're taking the medication are actually working? That means the body is actually making it work because it's a placebo. It's technically nothing but a sugar pill, but the body thinks it's working, therefore it's working. That alone, and there's case studies, there's medical case studies showing that, but then we take it for granted to go, no, that's just magic, or that's just hallucination, or that's just hypnosis, that's just this. You are your own creator. You have the ability you are your own guide, as you were saying about sending information or sending love back to yourself in the past. That's the whole like quantum leap. The older, if you guys ever remember the series Quantum Leap, that if everything's a string theory, everything's interconnected, that means your own guides could be you in the future or even the past, because technically if it's all interconnected, then it all happening at once. But hey, what do I know?
I mean, again, that's so exciting. Just to give you guys a little bit of context, exciting ideas like those and many other ideas related to the awesome things potentially available within the experience of this reality. You can think about the idea of like how, if you choose to, you can be like an ambassador for cool ideas, if you want to think about it that way. And that's one thing that I like to think about it, like I said it once, like even if I'm just like the guy who reminds people that we're actually trees, and that was just like my thing, and I just focused on delivering that message, I'd be cool with that, because like to me that's like such a meaningful message, like the idea of like the as above so below fractal nature of reality concept, that I could spend my entire life like just like helping people understand that message. So if there's like an idea that really like clicks with you, or some sort of perspective that like makes sense for you, consider that as something to make into a potential video for the future. Like even write down, like if you start writing down, you'll actually realize that there's a lot of ideas that you can make into movies, into short videos. And again, the tactic being like, try that. Like there's the idea of like, can you explain something simply within 2 minutes or 1 minute or 3 minutes? Because like that's kind of the goal as well, is to be able to be an ambassador for that message in a way that will be more deliverable to people. And sometimes a 2 or 3 minute video would be more accessible than like a 30-minute video. So again, just giving you guys something to brainstorm about in terms of the media that we can create and again publish through the Paradigm Shift Central project. But with that said, we're just going to keep moving along here, and we did have a surprise guest join our Hangout. Does that surprise guest want to say hello? Brianna. That's the only. Yeah, I know you would.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I am not a surprise guest. Okay.
Well, you're the last person new to join, and people know who you are at this point. So.
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm late.
Breezy.
Perfectly on time. Cool. Okay, guys. So we'll keep moving through introductions. Just before I do that, Nathaniel, was there anything else you wanted to just share with people, or we'll pass the talking stick?
I love you guys. Thanks.
Cool. Okay, cool. Thanks again, Nathaniel, and again, for people who want to connect with Nathaniel, nathanielsalas.com is his website, but check the links in the notes for the link through paradigmshiftcentral.com. So I'm going to pass it over to somebody to just talk to do the introduction. I'm going to have to step away from the mic for a second. I have to go help my dad with some computer stuff. I got an email and he's like, I need you to show me how to import files, so I have to go do that. I'm sure you guys understand. And I'm just going to pass it over to Monica. Do you want to go next? Would that be cool?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So again, you can just like introduce yourself. Maybe people haven't heard who you are before, and whatever maybe you're interested in, and any community involvement stuff you're involved with, or any projects you're working on, or any cool Shifty related stories.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll think of something. So okay, and I'd love to hear this, but I'll listen to it in the recording. So, okay. But I'll be back in a couple minutes. And
all right, good luck with your dad's files.
Yeah, it'll be a minute, but I know you guys can totally run the show without me. So okay,
sure.
You're back.
Alrighty, so my name's Monica. I'm sure maybe some of you have seen me here before. I'm from Chicago. I've been with the Paradigm Shift community since I feel like August 2012. So just a little bit before the 21st. I think that's when it all started. So it's been a few years now, which is awesome and amazing and so weird to just see everybody evolving and like me recognizing that I'm connected with you wonderful humans for probably the rest of my life now. It's really cool. Yeah, so I organized Paradigm Shift Chicago here while I was at school and also out of school for a little while. So I did some stuff on my community campus, and it was really fun and wonderful, and I met some really cool people, and we talked about all kinds of stuff and meditated and connected on campus, which is just, sometimes not very possible, especially because I went to school at a commuter school in the city. Most people don't stay and hang around, but that's relevant. Yeah, so some community updates, because this happened last week. I actually met up with a friend who I met through my Paradigm Shift Chicago community meetings, and he's leaving for India to study under a teacher to teach yoga, which is cool, really awesome for him, and just like how things have turned out. Yeah, and what's so strange is like he started guiding meditations at the Paradigm Shift Chicago meetings, which is like mind-boggling because now he's like, you know, going and doing the thing. Yeah, and so we met up and we did this conscious meal and documentary kind of thing. So we all brought potlucks, mostly, you know, vegan, gluten-free, all of that good stuff, all that good food, and ate dinner and just like caught up. And so I got to meet new people that he's been involved with who are also shifty and conscious people, and got to catch up. And yeah, I haven't seen him for like a year or two because school ended and whatnot, and he was traveling and I was gone, but it was just like really cool to just meet up again and similar spots. So if you start Paradigm Shift Chicago, or not Chicago, but just Paradigm Shift Communities, also Chicago, if anyone's listening, hit me up. If you start them, you're going to meet amazing people and stay connected with them, and you meet them in the flesh, which is something that I'm so looking forward to doing, like meeting all of you in person, because it's a completely different experience, and imagine all the hugs. It'd be great. Yeah, so that's mostly what I got for community updates. What my interests are, and unfortunately I'm going to have to leave soon because my phone's dying. Recently, currently I'm in between a bunch of jobs. I have an abundance of jobs that interest me currently, which is awesome. And weird because I was unemployed for like a little while there, so it was all meant to be though, because now I have jobs that I enjoy instead of just jumping into something that I wasn't ready for. Yeah, so doing that. I'm going to start substitute teaching soon, doing some volunteering around some communities, including mental health communities here in Chicago. Yeah, and I've been getting back into my art, which has been so fun and fulfilling. And like when Brendon was mentioning like going back to 13-year-old selves, I feel like that's all resurfaced for me recently. Just it's been so fun to remember all the things I enjoyed and having time for it. Yeah, I think that's mostly it. But my phone's dying, so I'm gonna pause there and just let y'all talk.
I love you, Monica.
Love
Yeah,
you.
you're awesome.
Thanks for sharing.
Monica is awesome as always.
You guys are awesome as always. So I don't know if anyone has questions or whatever. It's easier for me to answer questions than to talk by myself. So
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, you're fun to
Especially
listen
the part about the hugs in person. I think that's real.
There's a part
Yeah.
about hugs. I missed it. Oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You missed the hugs.
Were they
I've
free?
got a long way to get a hug from you guys, though.
Yeah. Hey, it could happen. It could happen. We could
Yeah,
be
it
in
could
here
totally
at
happen.
some point.
Yeah. Cool. Monica, was there any updates related to like specific Paradigm Shift Chicago community related stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I did include that.
What's the short gist of that? Just so I'm on the same page.
I met up with old members, some of the people who I met through my community meetings when I was at UIC, my campus. I just met up with a few people recently that I haven't seen in a while, so reconnecting.
Cool. Awesome. Nice. And yeah, if there's any like future updates on you guys going forward with some meetings and stuff, that'll be cool.
Yeah, actually next week we're doing another one.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, too bad Michelle isn't here because I was listening to last week's episode, which was amazing. It was so awesome
Yeah, I
to
enjoyed
listen to that. Gosh, freaking amazing.
She's awesome.
Didn't she bring the fire? That was pretty inspiring.
She did.
Seriously, and then I'm not sure what his name was, but with the poem, gosh,
Yeah,
that
Carlos.
was mind-blowing. Yeah, so on Tuesday we're doing another conscious meal and possibly a documentary, but this friend who I met through my community, he was also involved in Bhakti, so they sing kirtan, and I would go during school to go to their meetings as well, and they're going to be at this next meetup because my friend's leaving for India, so we're all getting together and going to sing kirtan, which is always so beautiful and
wicked.
heart-opening. So
Wicked.
yeah,
Nice.
that's future
really cool.
things.
Sweet. And that totally reminded me of the whole community update that I can let you guys know about, but I'll do it in a bit. But just related to the recent Paradigm Shift meeting that we had here. Well, I'll just do it real quick, and then we'll move on just with introductions. But the last meeting that we had with Paradigm Shift London, one of the guys brought a candle, and it was like shaped like a pine cone, so it was really cool. And it was like a honey candle, and then we ended up putting it in the middle of the circle. And in addition to like having a really good discussion, and it was some really cool stuff about like black holes, and I actually got it recorded, and I'm gonna post it as a post on Quest on the Quest journal, and you guys will be able to listen to it there. But one of the things that we actually did was we did our meditation, and I was doing the guided meditation. We had the lights down and the candle on, and then as we got near the end of the meditation, I like transformed it into a group vocal training exercise. So like I said, like okay, like just start making like any sort of noise that you want to make, and we'll just sort of like play with it and everything. And it turned into like this really cool like group like harmony musical experience, and I actually got like a little bit of that recorded too. So that's like something where, again, ideas for like what can happen in a paradigm shift group. Like yeah, you're sitting around in a circle and you're talking, but you can totally practice like doing other stuff. The group meditations can be really fun and really creative. So any ideas down the road, we can brainstorm together on specific things that can happen inside a paradigm shift meeting to start giving people more ideas as they start getting into them a little bit more. So I just want to share that.
Sorry, were you?
No, go ahead.
Oh wait, hold on. Were you influenced by Bobby McFerrin for that one? Because I saw you post a video.
Yeah, I totally was. I saw that video like the night before. There's an amazing video, just for the people listening without context. Bobby McFerrin is the guy who does the song where it's like, "Don't worry, be happy." It's like, "Don't worry." That one. You guys know. And there's this video, and it's him in a stadium, and I think it's an amazing just human experience. But he's in a stadium with a microphone, and he's just like, everyone's there, and he's just conducting people with his voice and his hands, and he's like pointing to a group of people, and he's like repeating a noise, and then they start repeating it, and then he'll change it just through like his own vocal inflections and stuff. And it's amazing, and it makes like this like incredible experience. So group sound, like anything with sound is actually really fun to do within physical paradigm shift communities, because there's often that visceral association with it. Whether it's a singing bowl, people who might be new to meditation, they can do an Om chant or a singing bowl experience, and they'll feel it. They'll feel it in their chakras, if you want to think of it that way. And it's just like again, it's a thing to do within a paradigm shift community experience. So just something for everyone to keep in mind. Yeah. Cool. Okay, Monica, was there any other updates that you wanted to relay? Or did you say you have to leave soon? Like, is your battery dying?
Yeah, my battery's low.
Cool.
I
Okay.
know something I was going to relay. Yeah, I don't know at the moment. But
Do you have, if you're not going to be around for the end, do you have any intentions that you would like to share for your own journey for accountability's sake?
Oh, yes. So I remember what I was going to say. This references back to what Nathaniel was saying earlier, and also intentions for the future, because I've been thinking about those a lot. When I go through my old journals, I write down a lot what I want, clearly, to manifest and like solidify things. And with this time off, I've been able to accomplish a lot of those in a short period of time, which is really freeing for me. And one of the things that I wrote, which I know I want to carry on throughout my whole entire life, is to bridge the gap between science and spirituality. But I feel like that's a huge quest in my life, because I think it's super important to be taken seriously in this world that's so logical and can't really always think so open-mindedly. And science is also really great. So those are my aspirations for the future, especially within psychology. So yeah, there's that. And then earlier, so I brought out my paradigm shift notebook that I haven't cracked open in forever. I've had it for a while. Here it is. And this popped out. I don't know if you guys can see it. A nice little surprise sticker that I didn't even know I had.
For people on audio, what is it?
Oh, it's the Om symbol. You guys can see it. Has the 4 stages of consciousness, so they say. And so I thought that was
Jimmy's
cool.
got one too.
Really, I can't see all you guys.
Yeah, I drew this.
Thought
This
like,
is some of
oh,
my
the
art.
chakras.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Okay,
Here you go,
Monica-
guys. I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I'm just gonna share a little thing that I wrote, like, I don't know how long ago. Let's see.
Well,
So
I was gonna say we can just like pass it over to you for some introduction and talking stuff in general. Before,
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Monica, was there?
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
goodbye really fast though, okay?
Yeah.
Because I'll just disappear otherwise. Alright, well, goodbye everybody. So great talking with you, meeting up with you again. Take care. See you soon.
Awesome.
Bye, Mom. Love you. See you later.
Anybody in Chicago area, get in touch with Monica. So.
Yep. Love Chin Chin, Mom.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Monica. Cool. Okay, so we also have Sherman in here. Sherman joined. Hey, Sherman, how's it going? Unmute yourself to say hi if you want. Sherman was in episode December 2nd that we did. Hey, man. Yo. Oh yeah, your microphone's pretty quiet. I forgot about that. Cool. Okay. Yeah, man. Good. Welcome to the party. Okay, so let's we'll keep moving through things, and we'll try to again, I say this to myself too. We'll try to keep it concise, less words, more meaning, just so we can get beyond the introductions by the 3-hour mark. So, but we'll pass it to Jimmy, and Jimmy, you can just say who you are, where you're from. A little bit that you're like interested in, and any sort of consciousness shifting things that you have been involved with, be it community, be it art, and I know you said you got some stuff that you wanted to share, so we'll pass the talking stick to you, brother.
All right, I am Jimmy Jackson from Lawton, Oklahoma, which is also located to Fort Sill, which is where they imprisoned Geronimo, and actually where they imprisoned Geronimo is actually only about 2 blocks away from where I live. But anyways, I'm going to share this little piece of information that I wrote with you all, just to help keep you inspired and allow you to continue forth with all of the efforts that you are doing throughout your daily lives. Anyways, keep traversing here in the love and the light. Let it push you forward. It is all unfolding as it should. Your heart beats for a reason, and with every breath you take, give it all that you have to the best of your ability in order to fulfill your purpose. It's all going to be worth the effort in the end.
Oh, did we lose sound there? Jimmy, did we lose sound? That was awesome though, man. Okay, I think Jimmy, we lost your sound. I'm not sure what happened there.
I heard all of it anyway.
Yeah, I think it stopped like right as you ended, unless there was more. Jimmy, we can't hear you right now. Maybe you unplugged something. Oh, he's going rage mode. He's gonna go Super Saiyan.
I think he literally dropped the mic.
Yeah, he dropped the mic. Okay, Jimmy, just as soon as you get it fixed, just let us know. If you need to rejoin and like leave and rejoin, feel free to try that. So that's funny. Okay, and Tony's in here. Tony, you're in Oklahoma too, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Oklahoma City. Well, actually, about south of there, about 30 miles, something like that. In Newcastle, Bridge Creek area. Kind of rural country. Really not much places to network, so to speak. So I do a majority of what I do, like Nathan was talking about. I think it was, I think it was about online. Just reaching out, doing whatever I can to help people. I can't really teach anybody anything, but I can just guide them to their own answer, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think that's about the best that anybody can really do.
Yeah.
I do what I can on my own Facebook page to post stuff up there that's positive, like like I was talking about earlier. You know, just to give somebody something positive to look at throughout the day, like when they're scrolling through, like he was talking about scrolling through the smartphones. I'm probably the only person in the world that doesn't have one, but but yeah, that is a very good media to be able to reach people on, as a smartphone. You know, and I think it's important to get people away from this idea that the new age is quacky, you know, and that there is a science to it. And that's really where I'm drawn into it at. I mean, I've been practicing magic and, you know, different types of, I guess you'd say, isms, you know, spiritualism, hermeticisms, and stuff of that nature for going on 30 years. So, you know, I'm on my 20th, 25th birthday, so I don't plan on getting over 25. So, yeah, I can really help people a lot whenever they don't understand why something does what it does. You know, I can try to kind of get into the elementary basics of it, you know, and try to just put some foundation behind what it is we're doing.
Yeah, that's good, man. Like I like keeping up to date with your posts on Facebook. Like you're always exploring some things that are definitely really interesting, and that's kind of like one of the things that I really value about a team is the idea that we recognize that there's like so much cool stuff out there on the internet, yet individually we only have like so much time to browse it. So like when collectively we're like browsing things, part of that would actually be what the intention of LiveNet would be used for, where imagine if you came across a really cool concept and you're like, hey, this could be something really valuable for the community to think about. You could turn that into a conscious article or quest journal, depending on the context you put it in. And then again, you create like a little package, like a little medium for this conscious medicine. And so, I mean, there may be some ideas that, you know, Tony, that you're exploring that would be like really engaging for like a quest journal type thing. So I would totally encourage that. And yeah, like I like the way how you explain things as well, and bridging like the whole science and spirituality. Like you're right. Like that totally is like a part of this awakening thing. And I said something within my video, you know, like it's people going from this process of like doubt to awareness and understanding through experience. So like giving people the idea of like what can be achieved, but how to achieve it, whether within the practical terms of like experiences, and you know, the esoteric science side of things, like the hermeticism as well. Yeah. Tony, if you have anything you want to add?
Not really. I really like what you're doing with the Jedi thing. I've always had, I guess, connections with the Jedi. You know, as far back as being like a wannabe ninja and stuff like that, and making my own pair of nunchucks that I have. You know, yeah, I've got a katana over there off to the corner that I know how to use, and I enjoy going outside in the yard and just spinning it around. Note that if you ever start learning how to use a katana and you switch to a longsword has a pommel, and that will catch your head. I learned that the hard way. I had a friend of mine come over. He had a longsword, and it was like a dragon pommel or something like that. Not a pommel, but the other part of it. I can't think what it's called. The hilt, I think. Yeah. It had dragon wing hilt on it. And I was spinning it around outside to try to get a feel for the balance of it, and it got me upside the head. I about knocked myself unconscious. But I learned how to use a sword of that particular type.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta hit yourself in the head to. Yeah.
So that's about all I have to add.
Cool. Well, thanks, man. I'll just say real quick, and then I actually wanted to open it up to Paul, because I know he's going to be catching some sleep soon, since it's like 3 a.m. in the morning there for him, and he's a trooper for hanging in. But I was just going to say, you know, for people doing any sort of martial arts training, one thing that I can just put forth as a practical idea to bring into your own practice, one thing I like to play around with, and key emphasis on the word play, is if you have a stick, like a sword or a bow staff, practice control through the practice of like coming as close as you can to something without actually hitting it. So it could be like a pillar, it could be a tree trunk, and again, you know, like take like these controlled swings, but then you're stopping like 2 inches away from it, and then you stop an inch away from it, and then you stop like a millimeter away from it, right? And so like it's just a different way of you know, sort of engaging with the practicalness behind using something like a sword or bokken or a bow staff, with the idea of evolving your mental practice. So I would just yeah, if people want to play with that, feel free. There's so many. Oh my God, there's so many different ways to do like practical, like kinetic training during the day, like mind, eye, hand coordination sort of stuff. Just grab a tennis ball and throw it against the wall, and you can have fun for hours, you know, and just challenge yourself in that way. So, but moving along, I want to pass it over to Paul. And Paul, if you just like to briefly introduce yourself, anything new and exciting in terms of the shift that is going on your end, or just anything else that you want to share there with the people, and what you're doing to help change the world as a Jedi.
Yeah. Right. Very quickly. Possible name for your meditation. You can take it or leave it. It's all good. But regressive quantum empowerment meditation. So obviously regressive as in regression. So going back in the past. Quantum is both the quantum connection of past, present, and future. Empowerment because it's an empowerment, and the meditation because it's a meditation.
Well, I like that gives me an idea for like I think if we call it like something like chrono quantum meditation. That's got a ring to it. So.
Yeah.
Okay. But
I like that. Well, you're Gonzo journalist. How about Gonzo quantum?
Gonzo quantum. That could be a whole other thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just throwing ideas out. That's what I do.
I like it. Thanks, Paul. Okay, go ahead, Paul.
No worries. Anyway. My name is Paul Brighton. Most people on YouTube, I am Sifu Boggy. A lot of people just call me Sif. One of the main things I do is I do holistic healing coaching, as well as Qigong and Tai Chi and other healing techniques, and that's on www.thewayof.co.uk. Paradigm shifty this week stuff. Me and a friend of mine sort of talking about like the sort of like the martial arts. We've got this strong idea to teach like martial but more the fitness side with Qigong, energy exercise. Like Qigong is the grandfather of Tai Chi, but also using weapons, but in particular the lightsaber. So we're actually going to get some. There's about 3 different companies that do lightsabers out there, and we're going to get some lightsabers. And using the lightsabers is a fun way to learn a weapon form. But a weapon is just a tool. It's a meditation means to focus on one thing, forget everything else. And when you have a stick in your hand, a sword in your hand, your focus is on that. But it's the idea of, as Skull very cleverly said, is that the idea of getting as close to things as you possibly can, which is very much like, if you ever heard of the Brazilian martial art capoeira, which the aim is not to hit people, the aim is to get as close as you can without hitting them. And so the aim is to learn to control something, but also, or at least for me, Taoistically, is to be able to control something, but also seem uncontrollable. To have a little bit of, the name Boggy means the balance between chaos and calmness. So it's trying to flip between the two. So me and my friend Baz Chilia, we're coming up with this. It's going to probably take us about 6 months, but we're coming up with this this fitness and martial art and meditational system. Because the whole idea is not just about the martial side, but it's also about not just about the Qigong side, but it's also about the self-healing, self-awareness, raising your vibration. So that's one of the biggest things we've done this week. And also apparently I'm doing as much qigong in my dreams as I am in waking life, which is quite cool. So I'm actually dreaming doing qigong. Normally I used to be a baker and a chef, and I used to dream about being chefing or baking, which was more like a nightmare. But actually dreaming about doing qigong in your dream is quite cool. That's about it, I think. I think I've talked enough.
Is my mic working?
Jimmy,
It is.
working.
Yes.
Alright, apparently I just had to restart my phone.
Ah.
I'm surprised it's honestly survived this long. I've probably dropped it time.
Yeah, I've done that a few times with phones, but if you've got good chi, they survive. That's why they can be cracked to pieces. But it shows how good your chi is. That's what Sifu once said. So you keep dropping your cup.
Speaking of Jedi, have anybody seen those new swords that they have? I saw it. It was on a website, and they're like really well-made swords that you can actually do combat with.
Yeah, Saber Force. Saber Force is one of them. Yeah, proper. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to be using these proper. They're basically combat lightsabers. Saber Force is one of them. There is a company called Lucas Sport, which is part of George Lucas, who use their own lightsabers, but they're actually like training. They're using they're training to be Jedi or Sith, and they're using certain martial arts for the Jedi side, and they're using certain fighting forms, certain sword forms for the Sith side. Because I've loved staff and spear is one of my favourite ones to use, because you have to be flexible within yourself to really be able to move it. So because they do a double lightsaber, so it's a lightsaber staff, this Saber Force, and so it's like basically like a plexiglass with LCD lights in it, but it's all set up. It's proper, real. Like I say, you can use it for combat. But for me, martial art that is exactly that. Martial, as in practice, as in using training to get you fit. But the art is the magic. The art is the spontaneity. The art is the flexibility. And martial art for me has always been about personal and spiritual development, not just about learning to beat people up. In fact, that's just a Brucey bonus.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people don't know is Kung Fu really doesn't have anything to do with martial arts or Kung Fu. You could actually have that good Kung Fu in cooking. What you're talking about.
Kung Fu means sporting activity. So like American, because obviously I'm from England, so football means soccer here. But American football is a Kung Fu. Table tennis is a Kung Fu. Tiddlywinks is a Kung Fu. Any
Tiddlywinks.
Hey, you should watch out for those Tiddlywink masters. They're deadly with those little Tiddlywinks. But the word Kung Fu means. Well, Kung Fu means sporting activity. It's a bit like Qigong means energy exercise. So any exercise that generates either physical energy, emotional energy, which would be Jing, or spiritual energy, which would be Shen. But like, as you said, in the West, we've used Kung Fu as the word martial art. And the Chinese, the East, have a tendency of accepting that. But yeah, it actually means sporting activity. Something that's sporty, something that's active.
Mm-hmm.
But what do I know?
Yeah, who's to say?
As Stevie says.
I think Jimmy, did you want to say something? Did you sign? I thought I heard you.
Sorry. Let's see if I can even remember what I was talking about.
Okay.
Project Inspiration, and then my mic mysteriously just like. I'm not entirely sure what was up with that.
Did you finish your poem? Did we need to go back to that?
Last words you heard, if you can remember. Again. Oh, okay. Never mind.
It's still
well, it ended with "is going to be worth the effort in the end." That was the last line. Did you hear that?
Just yeah, if you want to just read like any last bits, or is that all of it? Maybe we did hear it all. It sounded like it was the end.
It's a very short poem.
And I think we heard it. So. That's cool. Man. Cool. All right. Well, let's just keep moving through here. But Paul, and Jimmy, Tony, do you guys have anything else that you want to share with the audience?
I'm sitting here scrolling through this dream journal. I have like 3 months worth of recorded dreams sitting here.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Are you like? Do you still record your dreams pretty regularly?
Yeah. Like last night, I had the longest dream ever because it seriously seemed to last for months. Like it was extremely strange. Like I joined the military in the dream and ended up going through all of the training and getting stationed on a base and living in a house. It was very strange.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we want to get too much into dream analysis interpretations.
Yeah. But I don't know. Has anybody done anything like out of the ordinary lately?
Dream analysis and interpretations is best interpreted by the person that's having the dreams. The best thing that you can do really is talk to somebody and find out what those symbols mean to them, and then try to break it down for them.
Yeah.
I mean, the other most prominent thing in that dream was the fact that my best friend who just got locked back up in prison. So, I don't even know what to think.
Yeah, like I mean, oftentimes like with dreams, just while we're on the topic, like I say like sometimes it's hard to say like what does that mean, but sometimes if we just think about how it made us feel, like that can actually be more of a compass for us to be able to like think about, because based on our own actions or based on our reactions to something in our dream, we can sort of see how it made us feel, and then that will give us a chance to observe like ourselves, our actions, and maybe sort of say like why did I do that, or what part of me was doing that, or is that a part of me I need to spend some more time investigating or developing or thinking about or something. Yeah.
I mean, it's very, very extraordinary, some of the things that you can encounter throughout all of those experiences that you have when you are dreaming. It's just a matter of being able to decode it for yourself by going through your own mind and doing your own research, and maybe somebody else could help provide you with certain amounts of insight, but at the end of the day it's all up to what can you gain from that experience. But
yeah,
it's just when I think about it, it's just like, well, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that I've been doing exorbitant amounts of physical training over the past several months, because I used to be quite an obese person. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I used to weigh upwards of like 300 pounds, down to like 175.
Wow, man.
That's the last time I weighed myself. It is what it is, man. You just got to keep pushing through, because life's going to keep coming at you. It's going to keep coming at every single one of us.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Keep going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, great job, man. I mean, maybe that's what the dream was about. I mean, you was training in the army for months. I mean, maybe that's the point.
What are you training for? Like maybe that's like a metaphor for just your life in general. So
pretty much.
I mean,
the people, the team that I have accrued down here, let's just call it Paradigm Shift, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a vast array of many characters that words cannot even properly describe who they actually are. They're such unique human beings. Honestly, I don't understand who they are. But we are all some very, worldly individuals that have been through some very rough, tough circumstances throughout our lives that have shaped and molded us into who we actually are at this very moment. And I'm glad that you guys are, that I've, been associating with Paradigm Shift since about 2012, like halfway through 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks to Alex. Alex. He's the one who introduced me to it. And he's doing very well. Actually, he's become, I think, the general manager over at the Sonic out there in Medicine Park. A pretty cool place. It's out there, located right there next to the Wichita Mountains, which is, I guess you could call them mountains. They're the tallest mountain range in Oklahoma, even though it's like 800 feet tall. But
They're beautiful.
they're still mountains. Granted, they're nothing compared to the glorious mountain ranges that I've heard.
Well,
Jimmy, I don't know if you saw on the side of the chat, but I'd like to make a connection with you. I'm over here in Oklahoma City, so I'd like to move that credit to Oklahoma. And
I grew up out there at Elgin, that small town. I grew up out there on a 40-acre farm for most of my life. I'm actually from California. I was born in Victorville, California. I grew up, a good old country boy, or whatever you want to call it.
right. I grew up in the city for the most part, but I'm from Texas.
yeah, if you guys can
Portion
connect.
where I live.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post my Facebook page over off to the side so you can get it.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys actually aren't already connected. So that's good though. That's good, you guys.
Yeah,
are
I
good.
didn't know that there was anybody in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, there's
Apparently, though. Jimmy
Down
might be
here.
able to introduce you to others. So.
This is what the area I live in is actually called Texoma. It's like the one area that's the conglomeration of Texas and Oklahoma.
Cool. Well,
Yeah, they couldn't
Jimmy,
find what they wanted.
I was gonna say, Jimmy, like I just wanted to say, like, I really find your attitude really inspirational. Like, I mean, again, like just kind of
I know,
look
man. I do my best.
yeah, and that's and you're humble about it too, like, but I really like your persistence. You have like a good spirit. Like I've kind of, again, like over the past like 4 years, like
You should meet my little brother Johnny. He is, yes, my little brother is the best.
well, it's good then, man. And runs in the family. So, Jimmy, I was just gonna say, we'll pass that off to someone else, but I just wanted to give you a chance to is there any maybe like sort of like practical message that you can give to people who might be sort of like going through the challenging stuff?
Well, let's say you're going through a challenge. You have all these negative people around you telling you that you cannot accomplish that goal. Look them in the eye, smile at them, smile through the pain, continue forward, do not stop, reach your goal, forget the haters. It is all about achieving something great for yourself and for those around you. But again, you must do your best to become the most propagated, beneficial version of yourself. Undergo that transformation first, and I promise you everything else will fall into place. But yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
That's
That
awesome.
hit
Thanks,
home.
Alright. Wow.
That's so cool.
I'm just channeling the universe, yo.
There you go.
Whatever.
Yeah,
So
I
cute.
wrote something on Facebook earlier today. It was just a quote I come up with. It's like, don't let anybody tell you it can't be done, because then there's someone who'll prove you both wrong.
Yeah, on that idea, there's I put up a post about this. It was just something that like I just sort of came up with it, but I'm sure people have said similar things. But the idea that it came out of personal experience. But the idea of people who believe in you should motivate you, and people who don't believe in you should also motivate you, as long as you believe in yourself. Because like honestly, like it may be sometimes where like it's a close family member where they're just like that's a crazy idea, like you shouldn't be doing that, you can't be doing that. But then if you're just like part of you is just like, oh, I wish they would support me, but at the same time it's just like in a way they're still motivating me because it's just like I'll show them, like it can be done.
Yeah, I think about it like the button that says "Don't push," and like the more that button has the label that says "Don't push," makes me want to push it. So the more somebody tells me I can't do something, it makes me just like want to do it.
That's half my life.
I know. Yeah,
the amount of people have.
Exactly.
Yeah, the amount of people have said, that won't work. Oh, that will never happen. It won't. And I'll always do the opposite. It's if they're encouraging you, that's a good thing. If they're dissing you, it's still a good thing. If you have, you look at people like Dyson, J.K. Rowling, I always forget his name, the guy who created Starbucks, all these people had opposition, all these people were being told, no, it can't happen, it won't happen, it's impossible. J.K. Rowling, obviously, like Harry Potter, and it's like they had failures upon failures. Edison, obviously the light bulb, failures upon failures upon failures, and as Edison brilliantly put it, I didn't have, I think it was something like 5,000. I didn't have 5,000 failures to make a light bulb. I had 5,000 ways. I found 5,000 ways not to make a light bulb. I only needed one to make one, and that's the point. You keep going. I love the saying, the broken clock. You ever heard of that? A broken clock is right twice a day. So that means, in theory, I will be right at least twice a day. So that's what I aim for. You just keep it. Or as the old fish called Wanda, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
I know a lot of the things that I accomplished in life started with "say I won't."
What happened? Say that again, Tony.
I said a lot of the things that I accomplished in life begin with me saying "say I won't." Just basically like a daring somebody to say that I couldn't.
Yeah.
Go on, dare me! I dare you to dare me! Go on!
Dare me not to change the world.
I dare myself, so I don't have to have anybody dare me. I dare myself and do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because that's a very important energy to have behind and within the paradigm shift community, especially for younger and older people. I think it's important for younger people, especially, to be seeing other people sort of doing things against the mainstream. And when you think about it, the mainstream, you can literally think of that as a stream and this idea of swimming upstream. But through that, it strengthens you, it sharpens you, and you can surf the waves in a different way that you just don't get from going with the stream. So, and there's other metaphors there, but you guys get the idea. I just want
normal.
Yeah.
I was just going to quickly say, normal is the average of weird. So do weird enough, and it becomes normal.
Swimming upstream, you're bound to meet the source.
Oh, there you go. Swim upstream and you'll meet the source. I was going to say normal is just a setting on the dishwasher. I like that one too. Cool. Guys, I want to be able to just pass things around so we can still hear from some people who we haven't heard from yet. We still got a few people. We got Rox, who's in here, who's in us a couple weeks ago, as well as Sherman and Brianna, and Matthew, who is new to our Hangout, but he's been involved with the community for quite a while, actually. Matthew, I want to just be able to pass the talking stick over to you. To just introduce yourself, and again, you can just say who you are, where you're from, and some of the things you're interested in, and any ways that you're sort of you feel that you're contributing to the shift in consciousness, personally or community-wise, or anything else you want to share, really. So.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I think Breezy's leaving. Let's say bye to her first.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah, sorry. I have to
Brianna,
in the morning, so I have to get up in 5 hours.
If Matt's okay with it, then Brianna, do you want to just give us a quick update before you leave and until next time? That's cool. Okay, go ahead, Brianna, then.
Okay, well, for those who don't know, my name's Brianna. I go as Breezy, spread love on the internet. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm basically admin on Facebook for the Paradigm Shift Detroit, Paradigm Shift Livonia, and Paradigm Shift Grand Rapids pages, so basically Michigan, or Lower Michigan. And then recently I met up with the Book Fairy, and we talked about her new strategy. We were going to make a video, but in looking at like the timeline and stuff, it wasn't just like I still vlogged, and so I'm launching a vlog channel. So I still vlogged my meeting with her, but we didn't make an official video for her based on like the timeline of like when she wants to release. You know, in terms of solidifying things. So we just discussed those types of things. Other than that, I don't really have that many updates, except I'm just channel, and I released
Say that last part
Tuesday,
again. You cut out.
video. What?
You cut out just for a minute, just before you were talking about after the fairy. You said. Sorry, I threw you off your groove. Go ahead, keep talking about what you're doing, and then.
Well, I was just shamelessly plugging my YouTube channel.
Okay, you cut it again.
For Truth Day Tuesday. And I don't know if anybody knows what Truth Day Tuesday, blah 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 blah. So you can guys check that out if you want to.
What's your YouTube
Breezy,
channel?
what's the name of your YouTube channel?
Oh, the name of my YouTube channel. You can find it under Breezy Love, but the URL is youtube.com/pearlsangel, PEARLSANGE.
GLES. Her mic's a little choppy for whatever reason. Brown, are you still there? Oh, is she frozen? There's just like a shot of her like staring off into space right now.
Oh no.
Okay, if she jumps back, we'll yeah, because I was just gonna ask her. Oh, Brianna, you're still there.
Yeah, I'll just say goodbye for now. That's really all I had left.
I was just gonna say before you go, are there any intentions that you wanted to verbalize for yourself or the bigger picture to just within the next week, for accountability and progress purposes?
Yeah, and hopefully my mic catches this. Holding space for your personal power and allowing your personal power to hold that space too, and being comfortable with being in your power and holding space with does go along with synchronistically, it does go along with what everybody else was saying about, you know, not letting other people tell you you can't do something. But it's also like knowing yourself and knowing your power and like allowing and just sitting with your power. So that's kind of what I want to work on with myself. And if that relates to anyone else, I hope that we can work on it together in the astral realms. But now I'm going to go to bed. Yay!
Thank you, Seafood Breezy. Night.
Thanks a lot, Breezy. It's good to hear from you again. All right, talk to you. You're leaving now then? Yeah, perfect. Did you leave? I think she left. Okay. No, I think she just froze, but I think she's leaving anyways. Okay, so moving along here, we'll just continue, and we'll go back to Matt. I do just want to say afterwards, I'll just give you guys a little bit of the update that I hadn't updated you guys on yet, just in terms of a little bit of future project ideas. But we'll do that afterwards. But let's go back to Matt, and then we'll let a couple other people introduce themselves, and then we'll probably wrap it up fairly shortly within the next half hour, give or take, or we'll play by ear. But anyways, Matt, passing the talking stick over to you. Welcome, and please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Brendon. I said my name is Matt Brander. You guys can call me either Matt, Matthew, Matty, Maddox. I answer to almost anything. I'm from Moncton, New Brunswick. I've been part of the Paradigm Shift group for, I don't know, approximately a year or so now, maybe a little more. First off, I really want to say how much I love all you guys and how inspirational you guys all are for me, and how much this has been a huge growth experience for me personally. So really appreciate that.
Yay, go team.
A little bit personally. Awesome. A little bit personally about me, in my spare time, what spare time I have, I do like to do woodworking and metalworking. just I guess a small example of some of the stuff that I do. Everything is reclaimed, so all wood is either downed wood from a storm or repurposed from something else. And same thing, all the metal, I smith all the metal or forge it all myself down from, that's all aluminum from just recycled cans. And that's just kind of what I do in my personal time for fun. As far as the shifting community paradigm shift here in Moncton, I think we have 38 people right now on our Facebook page. We do our meeting once a week. We get roughly anywhere from 7 to 10 people who show up a week, which is a really good number. I'm very impressed with that for the amount of time that we put into this so far. There's another admin by the name of Tommy Williams. I don't know if you guys have seen him around on any of the boards. He's fantastic. I know he'd like to be on for these, but the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's actually been taking his Reiki class. So we're really looking forward to having him back from that, getting some of the teachings that he's done from that. I guess some of the things that we've done, once I personally realized that my supply of shift buttons that I had been sent was quickly dwindling and running out, we came up with, I didn't invent these, I'm not sure who invented them, but I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of Argonite before, which is it's organic and inorganic materials together. People, they're used to be to align energy, to help with energy grids, just to help anybody else. One thing is we found we've made about 100 of these, and some people sell them, try to make money off them and stuff. We give them all out. We give them out as a means of doing the same thing as using it as a portal, same as doing the buttons. So we've got, I think, about 120 of these out so far in the past year as just a means of saying, here's a gift. This is a way to remember us. If you ever want to come to the meeting or say good day, it works the same way as the portal kind of for the buttons.
That's awesome, man. Who's making those?
There was one of the fellows, the guy by the name of Nick, was the guy who taught us how to make them. But as soon as we learned it, we've all started making them. So it's one of the things that we do. Almost every meeting, we'll sit down and make 10 or 15, 20 of them.
Really? Wow.
They don't take all that long to make, and they're a nice little keepsake to give out. And I say they have awesome powers to them too. We fill them up with lots of quartz crystals. There's gold. There's aluminum in them. There's always not always, but we put a copper triskel at the bottom of them. Some of those we just make into jewelry and just hand out to people. Same as that. Anything we can use to facilitate the consciousness.
That's super.
Well, dude, that's awesome. A kung fu there.
That is a kung fu.
And I guess one of the other things personally that I do in my job, I work in an office where I'm on the phone sitting at a desk all day, and while I'm there, I just sit and I have scrap paper and pens and stuff. So I doodle all day long, and I do different esoteric drawings of different different symbols, and I put these up all around my place of employment, all around my friends' places. There we go.
Just explain what you're holding up for the people who are just on audio.
Dozens of these things here that I've done, and that's another way that we try to facilitate the discussion and trying to open people up to talk about it, and they work really well.
Yeah, Matt, just explain what you were just holding up for the people who won't see the video of this.
Oh yeah, sorry. These are all different. They're just pen, ink, hand-drawn things. A lot of them are Metatron's cube. Some of them are just fractal patterns that I do. Let's see, there's another one here. Cool. One that I did make one time was a paradigm shift Moncton one.
Mm-hmm.
Fractal pattern. I was able to pull it.
Show me that. Yeah.
So that one turned out cool. Some of them are just the Eye of Ra, whatever esoteric symbols that I happen to feel like drawing at the time.
That's awesome. Well, man, Matt, I'll say, I wasn't fully aware. Maybe I'd forgotten about how well your guys' meetings were going. So that's like news for me. I'm really excited to hear that you guys are getting the turnout that you're getting, and like and you guys are doing them weekly, eh?
Yep.
Dude, that's awesome. Like that's really cool to hear. So thank you. Thanks to you and the other admins for facilitating that. And what's the feedback been like from people who have been attending? Like, what do they tell you about it afterwards? Or
it's been mixed. Not everybody gets it right at first, but we have an excellent return after their first meeting. They tend to come back. They do tend to communicate either with myself or Tommy quite frequently. As I say, I've met over half the people that we've initially recruited, and there was a lot of them that came from just kind of another scattered group. And we're pulling more people into it at all times. One of the things that we do have that we're looking forward to doing in the future, I think another fellow from Moncton, New Brunswick here, Charles Burrell.
Yeah, I do.
The Humanity Project, and the whole mantra of that project is just treat human beings as if they're human beings, no matter how desperate of a situation is, because he works almost exclusively with the homeless or the working poor. And I'm going to try to align the group to put in another day sometime that we can try to put some volunteer hours in with him and help out what he's doing there too, because that's a phenomenal project he's got going on.
Totally. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, the Humanity Project is really cool, and like he's been getting some good publicity for that. Like there's an article on CBC just recently, and yeah, that's really good. I like the idea of you guys being able to sync up, so that's cool. Where are you guys having your meetings right now? Like, what's the physical location?
During the summer, we did them all at two separate parks, an outdoor location,
Okay.
and nowadays we have an indoor location in the back of a local business here. And I can't say her name because she's doesn't like that being on the internet.
Fair enough.
But it's I can say it's on Main Street. It's pretty easy to find. There's only one on Main Street in Moncton if you go there. It's a great place. It's fantastic. When she built the place, she built a temple out back for where people can go and do their meditation, do their whatever studies they want to do in there. So it's a really cool place. Really, yeah, it's worked out well for us. We did have another place at the start, which was I guess a boutique or shop that sold a lot of incense and a lot of crystals and a lot of just all kinds of really cool stuff. And he was supposed to have a yoga studio going in upstairs to his place, and he told us it'd be about a month or so till it was renovated. And we all went in. Actually, many members of the group went in and volunteered our time. Said, "We'll help you out cleaning the place, building it, whatever you need to do. We're all able-bodied people." And we never got a whole lot of feedback from him, so we didn't figure that was going to come to fruition in time. So that's why we decided to go with the other place.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, that's good to hear that you got something that's working out for you. I mean, that's and again, for people listening and thinking about starting up a paradigm shift community where you are, like again, prime example of the simplicity to it. One of the initial things that you'll just have to look into is finding a location, but take the time to talk to store owners. If you can explain to them what it is you're doing, which again, is creating a group for people to come together and to talk about mindfulness and to practice meditation and metaphysics and anything else. You don't even really have to get too specific with it. You don't want it to sound like something sort of too airy-fairy or whatever. Just open-minded discussion and meditation group is really the simplest way to explain it. So I mean, if there are yoga studios that you can talk to the owners, even in cases where it may not be a yoga studio at all, it may be just a place that happens to have a room in the back, which kind of sounds like what Matt's got set up in a similar situation. But again, you won't know till you try, and once you start putting out those feelers, the universe is going to start giving you clues and hints as to where you're going to look. And part of the idea is to actually assume to be able to understand that there actually is a place in your location where you'll be able to host paradigm shift communities. You just have to be able to find it. So sort of think about it that way, instead of being like, oh, there's nothing. Just be like, no, there is a place. Like, we just gotta find it. And sometimes that may mean like looking around a few extra corners or whatever. But obviously in the summertime, parks are a great place to do it. But yeah, and then just having those meetings and then connecting people, having the Facebook and inviting them out. But the big thing is like keeping it consistent. Like Matt, just to get a little bit of feedback on yours, like how long have you guys been doing it? And then my other question was just going to be, how are the meditations with what you guys do, or are you guys doing those? Are they a part of every meeting, some of the meetings, or I'm just curious?
Yeah, I think we're 6 or 7 months into the meetings now.
Awesome.
There's only been one meeting that we didn't do at least a 15-minute meditation in. And sometimes they're just a silent meditation. Sometimes somebody will bring a device to put on a background music. And a lot of times what we try to do is have somebody do a guided meditation to walk us through it.
That's good, yeah.
And just one thing I'm going to throw back to one of the cool synchronicities that we had, our first meeting that we did in the park, the store owner that later allowed us to use her place of business, she used to actually have the store across the street from the park. And she had said that she had seen us and thought that we were pretty cool to see us meditating in the field there in the park, and that's why she really was pretty much going to allow us to use the space.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, again, man, that's awesome to hear. And for people who may be on the East Coast near Moncton, New Brunswick in Canada, you can join the Paradigm Shift Moncton group, and I'll include a link into that within the show notes as well. But if you are just on Facebook, just go to facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Moncton, and and definitely check that out. I mean, again, like the Facebook pages are one place where a lot of the traffic can sort of be curated through, but it's not the be-all end-all, but it is, again, just like a website that you can put on a pamphlet that will link people into be able to get notifications as to upcoming meetings. So the Facebook being a free tool in that sense is very useful. So I mean, starting up a paradigm shift community is super simple. And again, so if you're one of the people listening to this who is sort of still thinking about how they can get involved, how you can help change the world, the paradigm shift communities are useful because again, they're more than just having sitting around in a circle and talking. It's about the relationships that you form with the people. It's about the consistency and being able to be inspired to explore things further and to develop yourself further. And it's also about the conversations that will develop like through the meetings and beyond the meetings about other ways as to community involvement and projects that might come out of it. And you never know. So the paradigm shift meetings, they bring people together, and then quite realistically, like those meetings can be a nexus for spawning new projects and new community ideas. So just think about it that way. Like that's step one is to build the tribe, bring people together, and then through there, like trust that the universe will be able to like grow from that process. Like the synchronicities unfold and everything, but just bringing people together and bringing their keys into one circle is the experiment, because you don't know until you do it, sort of thing. So yeah, it's super simple, and again, encouraging more people to do it, and that's the goal with the evolution of this project, is to give people the inspiration and the tools. I'd like to think by 2017 that we'll be able to have a formally documented list of paradigm shift communities mapped out across the world. And again, just think about that. People will be able to pull up the website on their app on their phone, and they'll be able to see this map, and they'll be able to see like all these dots all over the world, and each one of those is a paradigm shift community. And I think that's a really cool thing. So, Matt, was there any other community-related news updates that you would like to share with the group?
No, I think that's about it.
Cool.
One of the things I did want to mention when you said the Facebook thing, it's a great tool, definitely not the end-all be-all. I realized that after a couple months that putting the posts out and stuff, and then I started looking down, we're only reaching sometimes 5 to 10 people out of the 40 people that we had in the group, and I know that has to do with the algorithms of how often people click on them and how often people actually look at them and stuff like that. So in our end, word of mouth and actual personal messaging people back and forth got us far more members, more active members than just the page did alone. That's for sure.
Totally. Yeah, I agree. Like that's the thing. Like it's good to have the Facebook there as a reference, but yeah, with the new algorithms, it's very challenging to be able to depend upon it. So yeah, make sure you're connecting with people personally, and yeah, those personal messages really go a long way. If you ran into someone and the meeting's coming up, just send them a personal message. Just be like, hey, just reminder, if you got nothing else to do tonight, feel free to come hang out with us. And for some people that can mean a lot. Just having that sense of community. So, really keep in mind like what it is that you're creating for other people. It's a sense for them to get involved with a community that maybe prior to that point has been something that they've been wanting and they haven't found it yet, So community is really important for just like the evolution of consciousness. It helps remind people that they're doing okay and that there's still like a lot of exciting stuff to unfold. So, Cool, Matt. Thanks again, man. That's awesome to hear the updates. I'm really happy about that. That's so cool. And
the force be with you.
Yeah, like for sure, man. That's Jedi rocking it. So. Okay, so we'll keep moving around here. At this point, I'm not sure. Eddie from Australia joined us. FYI, just for those of you who, we didn't mention it, but Nathaniel left a while ago, like an hour ago. So shout out to Nathaniel and everybody else who has left as well. Rox wasn't here, but he left. I'm not sure if Jimmy wants something or he's trying to signal us a code with his video footage of his finger. But I think he's just playing around. So.
Oh, sorry.
No,
yeah.
It's not.
I don't have mobility on the tips of either of my index fingers. Like that's as far as I can bend it.
I'm just keeping it moving then.
Yeah, I'm trying to trying to bend it. That's what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha. That's good. I was gonna say, Paul, are you still with us? Did Paul fall asleep? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, Paul's probably doing whatever. But yeah, we'll aim to wrap this meeting up in by 11, I would say. And before we do that, we'll just get into a couple more updates that I want to share. But we'll also get a chance to hear from Eddie. Basically, Eddie's kind of been in and out of Hangouts for the past while. And Eddie, we'll pass the talking stick over to you, and just to give you a little bit of context, since you weren't in the beginning of the meeting. So the intention behind these, Eddie, you can hear us, right?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So again, like the intention behind these meetings, Eddie, we're really focusing on like the main Paradigm Shift Central website and how it's becoming a platform for us to share conscious media, to share and document our stories, and to create really cool things that will be able to help reach people and change the world. And in terms of like introductions, we're just talking a bit about as individual Jedi and as shifters, who we are, some of the things that we're interested in, and some of the ways that we're helping shift consciousness where we are, either through direct community involvement or any arts projects or anything else that we're working on. So with that said, I'll pass it over to you, Eddie. So if you just want to let people know where you are in the world, what you're into, and how you're helping assist the shift in consciousness. If that's something you want to answer or anything else, feel free.
Yeah, sweet. Hi everyone, I'm Eddie. I live in Melbourne, Australia, Southern Hemisphere, and I've been working at awakening my mind and strengthening my consciousness for about 15 years now. I don't really have a paradigm shift community or other like-minded people. There's a few people travelling around, but most are still very much asleep in regard to living in the now, acknowledging their thoughts and feelings as they occur. They're caught up in the mundane 9-to-5 world that was created for us, that most of us are starting to break free of. And I self-educated myself about history. I learned how to open my third eye and access high forms of consciousness. And by studying history, it gives you a great understanding of why the world is the way it is at the moment, and also the direction of humanity's evolution, I suppose, in regard to consciousness as well as technology and culture. And I suppose the biggest thing that I've become aware of, that I try and share with others, is that the power of a human mind can be strengthened. I learned through reading old stories that the way our ancestors, up until a couple of hundred years ago, used to educate themselves and their young, if you were in a privileged family, this is before public education, was very different to the way we educate ourselves today. They had a large focus on teaching people how to comprehend information to a higher degree, whereas the way we're taught now, I suppose, in a Western style education, is retention of information. We're taught to be obedient and to learn and remember. So we kind of only get exposed to a small fraction of information that serves the elite agenda of, I suppose, trying to keep us consciously enslaved. They don't want us to be too smart, but they want us to be just smart enough so we can make their lives better. The rich get richer, so to speak. The elite. And they're not really educating themselves in the same way in regard to retention of information. They're more focused on the ancient way of education, and that's learning how to comprehend information to a higher degree, more so than just remembering information. You kind of learn to let information flow in and out of you, and when it's in you, in your memory, in your mind, if you can comprehend it to a high degree and an advanced understanding, you tend to be able to see things and gain insight in ways others can't. And I've been very lucky with my career so far. I'm a fitter and turner or engineer. Very analytical. I get to practice those skills every day. Logical, great problem solver. And I suppose, simply put, I know how to think. I'm very good at being able to think. I can use information in ways other people can't. And I fully credit those talents and abilities for me learning how to open my third eye and access higher consciousness in different dimensions of reality. An amazing experience that, unless you personally experience, it's very hard to be convinced that it's real. Due to the world that we live in, it's been fabricated in such a way that these experiences are classed like nonsense. They're not real, you know. They are. They're very real and they're very powerful experiences, and they teach you how to see the world for what it really is. And I think that's the big focus. That'll be the core of shifters moving forward, and probably over the next 10 years, is first you get attracted to this type of lifestyle and people and communities, and that's what's being established at the moment and being built. And then you move forward from that, and you start to learn how to become clever rather than smart. And what I mean is you learn how to comprehend information instead of just remembering information. And then hopefully like-minded people like ourselves can gravitate into positions of authority and leadership in different institutions that are already being created, and we can extend our influence and change the world ever so gracefully. You know, we're all young men at the moment, but eventually we'll be older and we might find ourselves in those roles or meet people that gravitate into those roles and can share our stories with them. And in order to not stuff things up, so to speak, you have to learn about history and past mistakes and understand information for what it is. And wait, stop. And ever so slowly, you change the world just with your own personal passion. Hang on one sec. Yes?
When are we gonna go pick up Anna?
Now! Give me like 10 minutes.
Kids
10
these
minutes.
days.
Oh my god. It's the last day of school today.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, last day of school in Australia. It's very hot. I've come home early today. All right. Come on, get out.
Does she want to go see Star Wars? Is she a Star Wars fan?
What did you say?
Do you want to see Star Wars at the movies? Have you ever seen? I don't think she's seen.
No!
He's very decisive.
Yeah, I don't think she's seen them before. The other episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's typical girl, mate. 10 years old, just finished school, going to have a sleepover at my mum's house
Got
tonight.
important things.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so hot here at the moment, 38 degrees. And
time for
what
Christmas.
do you guys use, Celsius or Fahrenheit?
I don't know. It's sometimes it's hot,
Celsius,
sometimes it's cold. Yeah, see, Matt knows. That's.
Yeah. I don't know. What's that? Like, it's 100 degrees in Fahrenheit, 38 degrees in Celsius.
It's pretty close to 100 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Eddie,
I don't know.
I like what you were saying about the idea of like being clever opposed to just being smart. And I know that like you've created some YouTube videos yourself, and I'll include some links for those as well. But I was just curious, like to sort of like to move towards wrapping up the show. What would be some ways that you can think of that we can be clever to help assist in the shift in consciousness? Like I think like making good videos is clever. Like getting information in a tangible form is clever. Doing free hugs is clever. To meet people, to evoke synchronicity. Are there any other clever ways you can think of that you could maybe brainstorm with to get people thinking how we can change the world?
I suppose meditation would probably be a start. Learning how to focus and concentrate your awareness with your eyes closed and your body not moving, and not go to sleep. To be able to sit still and just be inside yourself in your mind and not go unconscious. That was the first steps for me. I practiced meditation every day for about an hour, probably 2 years. I don't do it so much anymore. I don't feel like I need to. I feel like I've become something now rather than needing to do something in order to become something. It's like I'm already there, and everyone's got a different life and lifestyle, culture, family, and stuff. I think understanding how to be human and to get along with each other and to be tolerant about differences, it's going to be very important for the future of humanity. It's not about this nation and that nation anymore, or this culture and that culture. We're one family on one planet, and we're kind of the first generation that is starting to acknowledge that. So I wouldn't be biased against someone from another nation. I wouldn't feel like I could take advantage of them in order to provide advantage in my life, where our past generations have focused heavily on that. So who can we screw over to make our own lives better? Because they thought of them as lesser beings, lesser humans. And that's a big part of the shift, is acknowledging that we're all the same, we're all human, and to draw advantage from our differences rather than focusing on disadvantage and destruction. Very slowly, we're helping each other with technology and awareness, and my suffering and my struggles can be shared, and it might make you guys avoid something that I've already witnessed, and vice versa. We all kind of hold ourselves together in that regard, but definitely you've got to learn how to be human first of all. I've been told that many times by spirits when I open up my third eye. They said you're really good at being a spirit. If anything, you're too good at being a spirit. You should focus more on learning how to be human and try and fine tune and perfect that experience, and learning how to be healthy, having a good lifestyle, making good choices where you don't get sick. A little bit of exercise, good food, get rid of your stress with meditation, keep your friends and your family close, talk about meaningful subjects, don't get caught up in bullshit like the news on the TV or government things. Because those older generations, they're becoming obsolete, and you can see how ridiculous they are and the nonsense that they involve themselves in. It's just a waste of energy, and there's better things to focus on. And we're really in just a baby stage at the moment. End of 2012, and our solar system entered into the photon belt, and now the Earth's in charged particles of light, and it's affecting consciousness. And year by year, our natural ability to comprehend information is becoming more advanced. We don't even have to try. You just have to learn how to focus on positive emotions and happiness, and not let the amplified energy draw you into self-destruction. It's really hard to, when you feel things in an amplified way that other people can't feel, to not let it get you down. You'll see really dark and negative things in the world, and you've got to just let it burn out. It's like a fire. Don't put more fuel on the fire by getting involved. Just let it burn out, and when it's over, then we're here. We'll step into the new roles that will become available, and we'll change the world, and abundance will reign free. High dimensional reality will become normal. People will actually understand what it is. Interaction with advanced forms of consciousness, be it non-physical or physical, off-world stuff, extraterrestrial. It's all going to become normal stuff, where at the moment we're making a transition from kind of conspiracy, whack job, weird stories into more normalized stories. So a lot of people are having these experiences now, and it'll eventually just get to a stage where if you haven't had one, you'll be the weirdo, rather than the other way around, where it is kind of now. I just try and spread my happiness and my heart into the world. Someone needs help, I help them, and I do it without expecting anything in return. It's provides great pleasure in my life when I see an opportunity to help someone. And where you think of older generations, they'd probably want something for it. I'm not going to help you, and why would I do that? What are you going to give me? Where it's the coins on the flip side now, where people are willing to do these things openly and with enthusiasm, and it kind of freaks the older generation out. Like they can't relate, they can't connect to that same perception and understanding, and that's who we are. We're old souls in young bodies, and they're young souls in old bodies, and we need to be the example. Hold our light, share our light, and expect nothing in return. And what will manifest is the evolution of perception, and that's what I like to look forward to, and I try and reach out and share with other people. Because as the years go by, you start to see it.
That's good, man. Yeah, no, those some good insights and perspectives. That's interesting, like the idea of old souls versus new souls, and how much that actually can be sort of put into the equation of just trying to understand what actually is happening here. I mean, to say that, saying that's the wrong person could probably like bug them. It could almost come off as like sort of an arrogant thing or something like that. But if there's some legitimacy to it, it's just like a way of being able to help develop patience and understanding for other people and their journey. And I think that's ultimately, like, regardless of whether you're thinking someone as an old soul or a new soul, just being patient with the fact that like they're at where they're at. And they're still that's still part of the spiritual experience, and really just like honoring that instead of like getting accept that they're going too slow or going too fast or not opening their mind enough. Like we kind of said earlier, like I think even Tony said it, like the idea of like, you can give someone information, but you can't make them think. They have to do that themselves. Like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, sort of thing. So where we can, being ambassadors for ideas, for concepts, I think is a simple way of sort of bringing it back to what we can do. And again, leading by example, even when no one's watching, I think is really key. So cool.
Yeah. Well,
Eddie, sounds like you gotta run a routine. So do you gotta head out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why? I want to go to my net.
Okay,
all right,
we'll let her go. Okay, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, no worries. It's my pleasure too. It's nice to be able to connect with like-minded people, and next week we'll be next week, and we'll do it all again.
Yeah, man. And what's your YouTube channel? Real quick. I just forget that.
Hang on.
Or just send it to me later, and I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, I've got it up here on the screen already. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hi.
Children are teaching us too.
Paste.
Daddy.
Enter.
Awesome. Okay, so for people listening, you can find Eddie's YouTube in the
All right,
links
just hang on.
the
I'm
website.
finishing up.
Cool. Okay, man. Any last words before you get going?
No, just stay shifty, I suppose.
Stay shifty. Cool, man. Awesome. All right. Well, if you gotta get going, then we shall see you in the future. So.
Yeah, nice speaking again, everyone.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, see ya.
Awesome. So it's a bit after 11 right now, and we actually do have another player has joined the game, has joined the lobby. Joel is actually here, just in time for his introduction. So so we'll still wrap up this show in the next few minutes. Let me just share my quick project update that I want to share with you guys, and Joel will get you to just introduce yourself real quick. Some of you guys might have seen, and Eddie's YouTube, for those of you who are too lazy to find show notes but just want to search stuff, run a search on DMT, the link between worlds, and that will bring up one of his videos. So one of his videos has over 140,000 views. And it's DMT, the link between worlds. And his YouTube is Edward O. Grace. And again, I'll include the links in the live, in the Paradigm Shift Central show notes. But what I was going to say was, in terms of the project news update, this is actually really cool. You guys have probably heard me talking about the idea of doing some traveling down the road, and this is something that, I've been really just it's just a matter of time until I do it. And part of the idea would be for me to travel across different places, Canada, United States, and even further, while meeting up with people who are already in this community in different locations, and being able to document my own journey while being able to document my meetings with other people, letting them share their thoughts about the universe, creating short videos, creating longer videos, mini documentaries, and still doing live broadcasts while still on the go as well. And so to give this a name, it would be something along the lines of a Paradigm Shift Love Tour, and of course doing free hugs and Shiftivism in different locations, and literally helping kickstart Paradigm Shift communities in different areas, and again just meeting awesome people and building community and kind of leading by example and showing how things can unfold. So this is actually something that to solidify it, to say this is something that we're going to be working towards, and to tie it in with the project. This is actually going to be the focus for the Patreon crowdfunding. So the Patreon crowdfunding, to be able to give people a little bit more context, the funding that we have through the Patreon for again, the Patreon is a website that allows people to support artists on a monthly basis. So through micro contributions of however much they can afford or choose. Some people will donate $50 a month to their favorite artist or whatever. So this is this will be something where I'm inviting people from the community. I'm asking for help from the community to be able to make this project possible, and the way how it will be possible will be through the successful collective efforts of the community contributing to my Patreon, which will allow me and enable the opportunities for me to travel and to continue working on things as I do. So that's a really cool thing, and I posted about it earlier in the week, and there's over 100 people who liked it, and I said leave a comment below if you want me to come visit you, and there's 50 people who commented, and so even Jimmy, Tony, I'll come see you guys, and if I get out to the East Coast, Matt will come see you guys, and anybody else. So I mean, it's a really cool idea, and again, it's just a matter of time. As early as things could be happening, my main focus obviously will be getting out to California for Lucidity Festival in April as well, to film Journey to Lucidity 4 Gates of Perception, which is, some of you might not have heard the title for that yet, but that's going to be the title for that one, and I'll tell you more about that later. But basically the Patreon crowdfunding. This is the idea behind it is that this will be like the crowdfunding to end all crowdfundings. You know, as we achieve this, I won't have to create another crowdfunding like 6 months down the road and be like, okay, guys, you know, it's that time again. Gotta reach our goal limit. The idea with this is that like as we continue to get people on board with signing up for as pledges, you know, if you want to use that word, then the more we'll be able to manifest that reality. So, you know, there's about 8 people who are signed up for the Patreon right now. And totally just inviting other people to sign up. So, I mean, obviously there's going to be, you know, again, there's right now this podcast is being listened to. In the future, there's a good, like, decent amount of, you know, between like 300 and 500 people. And that audience is going to grow in the future as Paradigm Shift Central activates with these next coming upgrades and stuff. But really, you know, this message is specifically to the people who have kind of been tuned in for a little while and who have gotten to know myself and the other people in the community on a personal level, just, you know, being able to be here and really recognizing that the people listening to this are still here and being able to, you know, that's a cool thing to think that, you know, I wish I could be able to like see every single person who is like to meet every single person who is listening to this right now. Like that's a really exciting thing for me. And you know, if you are listening to this, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know. That's always really cool. But again, you know, it really acknowledging like the power and the potential of community. So some people will doubt us. Some people will say it's not possible, but I totally think it's possible. So it's one of those things where really just reminding you to, you know, help make it happen. It would be sort of counterproductive to assume that everybody else will just donate, because oftentimes a lot of people will take on that idea and everybody's like, be like, oh, that's an awesome idea, like, and I just imagine that everybody else will donate. But if everybody else thinks everybody else will donate, then nobody ends up donating. So it just really encouraging you guys to get involved with that and to be able to get involved with the rewards of that as well. And the rewards will be the perks to get bonus buttons added to any shift button orders. And also access to Journey to Lucidity 3 early before it comes out, and some other cool things where you'll be able to get some special bonus gifts as well by signing up for the pledge as a pledger for the Patreon. So that's pretty much it. Just telling you guys that again. I'll make more official announcements about it later. I'll probably do a short video, but if you're able to, you know, if you're just like, oh, that's a really cool idea, and you want me to come visit you, like, let me know. And sign up as a pledger, and we'll totally be able to, you know, down the road. Like I'm thinking definitely like by the summer. So let's do that. Let's make it happen, and let's like aim to really, you know, prove it to ourselves and the universe that this is possible. And then as we do this, you know, like we're going to be able to help like to share more freedom with other people in other ways. You know, we can do like future crowdfundings for other people doing like collective awesome projects and stuff like that. So it's a really neat thing to be able to crowdfund each other and to lift each other up as a community. So again, thank you everyone for the interest in that. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free just to message me and ask me. And yeah, I look forward to being able to do that and to continue making a career out of doing what I love, which is making media for you guys and changing the world in some very real ways, and, you know, resurrecting the resurgence of the Jedi in this modern day age. So it's super exciting. What do you guys think? Do you guys just have any thoughts on that? Do you guys want me to come visit you? Yes, no, maybe. Let's have a party.
Of course, bro.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Oh, I'm so tired over here, man.
Yeah, Jimmy.
I ran too much today, dude. Oh.
Well, I know we're just about to finish up, but do you wanna leave now, Jimmy, or what are you feeling?
It'll be good. I think what I'm gonna do is go relax and finish this show I'm watching called Childhood's End. It's pretty trippy. It's about extraterrestrials. They come to Earth and they end up being demons. And
don't spoil it too much.
Oh, my bad, bro. Sorry, I'll be quiet now.
Yeah.
Just saying, it's like really trippy stuff.
Yeah, it's by the guy.
You should totally check it out.
I was watching it out of the corner of my eye, but I know it's the guy who wrote 2001: Space Odyssey, Childhood's End. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. All right, well, I'll catch y'all later.
Cool,
Keep
man.
shifting the paradigms, y'all.
You too, man. Good to see you, dude.
All right, later on.
Rest up. Love you, dude. Cool. All right, so yeah, just moving close to finishing up the show, we passed through the 11/11 Stargate as I was talking about the Patreon pledging and Paradigm Shift Love Tour. So just reflecting that intention further. But yeah, we'll pass over to Joel. But just to clarify, did you guys have any comments or questions about the touring idea or anything? Just while we're on it. I don't think so. Maybe not. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's someone that was trying to speak. Anyway, I think that's an awesome idea, Brendon, that you should go and do that because you're so right. It's that taking some real action in the world, going beyond just the digital ties that we have here, that is really going to be a way to kickstart the dream that you want to see. Because ultimately, what's going to happen, I'd say, is you're the one who's going to create that because you're the one who dreamed it. So you're going to end up with your aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. For sure, man. For sure. Yeah, and like it's interesting because like it is like the dream of it is something that I initiate that requires like the collective of the community. So it is really interesting, just like the way how it will be able to manifest itself. So. Yeah, like I'm looking forward to making it happen. I'm confident. Like again, I'm confident. So it's one of those things where again, like my mom might think I'm crazy, but that just motivates me.
It totally doesn't matter, man. You have what Jordan did as well, right? With Spirit Science, he was doing the same thing. Like, he went off and did his traveling and doing his catch quest.
I don't know. that would probably be less than the first thing that I would want to directly compare myself to, but
no, I know, yeah. But I think the principle of traveling around and meeting other conscious people, except
it's exciting.
Your particular twist to it, is to actually ignite the creation of a physical community there, right?
Yeah,
That's completely different as opposed to just, hey, I'm traveling for random. You have a very clear intention.
Yeah. Giving that intention behind it will definitely give it direction. So yeah, definitely. Cool. Okay, so moving on and wrapping up and getting this introduction in order. Joel, did you want to just, as we get close to finishing up the episode, just like briefly introduce yourself again and any shifty updates that you have to share from the last week to this week? Any revelations or any conscious community things you're doing to help assist in the shift? Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what, really for me right now, it's been just seating myself into figuring out what it is that's really like my unique thing to bring into the world and feel into that. So that's really taken me into a hermiting stage to really do some deep work within me to clear what's colluding the vision. And so I've really been delving into that, and it's taken me into all crazy search arenas, like everything from the flat earth stuff that's going on to biblical scriptures and all those kind of things. And I'm realizing this is all just to bring me back to something that our Australian friend said earlier, and that was that all you need to do is go out into the world and give some love. That's all it is. Because I've noticed that in my attempts to do that through too much logic and keynote details, just I found it to be intimidating for people. So it really needs to be like more just a purely like, what can I do in that moment, and then be there to be of service, much like some other people I heard were saying earlier. So that's really what I've been working through to get myself cut up with, is that higher expression of myself by connecting more to my emotional body. And from there, I think I'll be able to see more bigger visions for what can be done community-wise here where I am. Because it's funny enough, I keep being led back to a city that has nothing going on here. So I think there's a future, there's a layer that's capable of happening here. Again, as someone like me ends up going to pick up the ball and create something. So those potentials are there, and I think that maybe what this community has served for me, and I'm sure it does for many others, is just to, whenever feeling like losing sight of what is it that I'm here to do, the perspectives that are offered in a place like this help ground me back to honing in on that mission. So thanks for holding the space.
Yeah, likewise, man. That's exciting. Like I can totally see that, like you helping facilitate things where you are. I think you serve great in that role for sure. I mean, you already have experience, like just like helping with events and everything as well. So
Yeah.
that'd be cool. Cool,
Thanks,
man.
bud.
Okay, so with that said, we can probably just kind of like wrap this up with intentions. We'll just share like a few intentions each, and then yeah, I'm gonna probably go take a nap, and then I'm gonna go back to editing the Star Wars video and get that online tomorrow. I go see the new one on Friday. Yeah. But yeah, we'll just sort of wrap this up. Let's just like take a moment here to just kind of do a quick meditation, and we'll just like breathe together and connect in with any intentions that we would like to be able to put out there to the universe. And again, just reminding ourselves that, you know, where we focus, we create. So let's take a moment here to focus on calmness as well. So let's just take gentle inhales through the nose. And exhales through the nose or the mouth. Again, inhales. And exhale. And just being able to fall in love with the rhythm of your breath, almost acknowledging, associating a flavor to it, a sensation, a feeling to that connection with our breath. And just knowing that that's a place that we can go back to, that that's a tool that we can acknowledge throughout our day-to-day life as a practical way to be able to help tune our instruments as we continue to play our song. So I think that's an important thing for all of us to do when we're collectively striving and moving towards that intention of continuing to intentionally evolve our consciousness, and in turn to be able to share that consciousness with the world around us. Consciousness breeds more consciousness. So with my intentions, I'll just share my intentions. This coming week will be very, very busy for me. The next few days will be very busy for me, and I think that's also a reflection of a very cosmic thing that's happening right now. We are moving closer to the solstice. We are moving closer to the full moon. We are moving closer to Christmas. And again, Christmas, you know, Christ in Mass, Christ en masse, the awakening of Christ consciousness in Mass. Christmas is a very interesting time for us to be able to open up and explore in different ways, whether that's connecting and being tested by family, if you want to use the word tested. Family is an opportunity for us to be able to really see parts of ourselves, certain triggers maybe, but as much as they can be triggers, they can also be a chance for us to be able to transmute social scenarios and really bring love, really be love, and just like be aware as to how that will play, taking on the idea of being able to go out of your way to make someone else feel welcome, feel happy, feel loved. Really reminding ourselves to love other things beyond just ourselves, whether that be our animals. You know, it's no one asks us to love our animals, but when we do it, when we show them attention, when we give them our affection, when we share with them affection, they appreciate it. And that's something that's still documented. That's something that's still recorded, and even though we don't have to do it because it's being recorded, we do it because we acknowledge that that's a reality for someone else. So my intentions for this next week, and again, with working on videos, we're going to do a broadcast. This is also just to tell Joel as well. We're going to do a global Jedi activation meditation on broadcast on the 21st. That'll be a very exciting thing, and for me, just really acknowledging that everything's sort of leading up to what comes beyond it, and for me, again, Nathaniel said, like, it's still, this whole project is really just beginning. We're really about to go through a very interesting portal, and again, the whole Jedi activation on a global scale is very important, and for myself as well as the entire community, because we've been sort of walking this Jedi path for some of us several years now, and more people are opening up to it, and this is an opportunity for us to really be those leaders, to be the beacon, to be the Jedi, and to do it from a really humble place, to ride on the funness and the playness of the Star Wars energy being shared throughout the world, as an opportunity for us to use it as a portal to learn more and reflect more about our connection to reality, to awaken to the Force, to our potentials, and to our connection, and seeing beyond illusions and veils. So yeah, my intentions are just to really be mindful with all of the digital moves that I'm going to be making this week, understanding that digital moves are equally can be equally as valuable as real world moves. In the same way, I might walk across the street to say hi to someone. I have to think about how online, I'm doing that in the same way. I'm saying hello to people and intentionally reaching out, and really just reflecting on why I'm doing that, what I'm carrying with me. So yeah, just for me, my intentions are to really just reflect back on, what my intentions are in terms of the videos I'm releasing, why I'm releasing them, the broadcasts that we're doing, why we're doing it, and really just seeing it as opportunity to strike while the iron is hot, among other things, to be able to utilize opportunity while it is still ripe. And that's something that I would say is to echo into all of us for this coming week, is to acknowledge moments where opportunities may be fleeting, and if we can see that, if we can see a window of opportunity, we'll have the free will to either use it, to make use of it, or to let it pass by. I encourage us to make the mindful choice, even though it maybe involve more effort, to make use of those windows of opportunity, or we will learn the lesson of regret in failing to do so, and in choosing not to do so. But whatever path works for us is the right one for us. So yeah, just some of my intentions are really just being mindful of what I'm carrying, acknowledging the transformation of my own role, in terms of just like again, being an ambassador for consciousness, as we all are, being a leader to help spark other leaders, being a leader to help remind people that they are sovereign in themselves already, helping people see, awaken the Jedi within, in that sense. So those are just some ideas that I'll keep in mind as my intentions for this week, that I am vocalizing and putting out to the universe as a form of manifestation and affirmation. So that's all I have to share for now. So if anybody else would like to go next, please feel free.
My intentions for the next week are going to be to practice more kindness at home, especially with my parents. Doing more than I need to do simply because I can. And at the same time, also committing time to nourishing myself by practicing mindful breathing regularly throughout the days, by paying attention to the calls of my body, to know the medicine that it needs, and to be able to play with my herbs accordingly, and to continue taking the next steps towards my sovereignty as a human on this planet.
Aho.
Aho.
Cool. Cool. Thanks, Joel. All right. Tony or Matt, if one of you guys wants to go. Matt, go ahead.
My intentions are going forward this week. Big one is to be present in the moment, not to have to worry about things that could come in the future or even stress about things that might have happened in the past. To be present with everybody that's there. Also, I have several pieces of furniture that I need to build, so I want to be able to put the intention of love into them, to put my skill, but also my humbleness as an individual and builder into that, and hope that as they move forward and find a new life, that everyone will appreciate the love that goes into them. And of course, throughout the week, just to put more joy and more peace and more happiness into everyone else's life that I meet and come across, and just try to be a better leader in my everyday.
Awesome.
That resonated very well with what my intention was, basically to listen more and to be willing to feel what guidance needs to be presented in a certain situation and be in that now. That would be my intention.
Awesome. Some good intentions all around, guys. Cool. All right, so yeah, just again, just being mindful of the breath. I'm just going to take another collective deep breath together. So gentle inhale. Exhale. One more. And again, gentle inhale. Bring in trust. And exhale, courage. Just one final thing, I would say intention, definitely carry trust with us. Trust. Even when stuff looks funny, even when you feel funny, trust that things are happening the way that they're supposed to be happening. And when you sort of realize that, you can sort of take away a bit of the worry if you find yourself in that space. So oftentimes we're in a space of worry so that we can learn how to worry less, if that makes sense to you. So yeah. So with that said, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, for joining us for another Paradigm Shift Team Building Hangout. I think this probably is going to be another 3-hour episode, but thank you again to everyone who is listening to this. Thank you for being a part of this community. And stay tuned for ongoing updates. Go to ParadigmShiftCentralLive.com. Add your email to the little thing at the top where it says to get your updates if you have not yet, or sign up for the website if you have not yet. And you can start posting very soon within the Quest Journals and Conscious articles as we continue to build our audience. And if you enjoyed this broadcast and you want to get on the Patreon pledging method, then please feel free to jump on that, and we'll continue to give you some more updates as the project unfolds. And may the Force be with you always, because it already is. So cool. Yeah, so stay tuned for updates, and this time next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, and before that we'll have the Global Meditation on Monday. So it'll be a busy week next week, and I'm looking forward to really making the most of it. So let's change the world. Shifters unite. So guys, join me in saying farewell to the internet. If you guys just want to mute your microphones together here. So Joel, Matthew, Tony, and myself, Brendon. So, awesome. All right, okay, guys, so let's say farewell to the internets until next time. So, until next time, internets.
Farewell.
Bye, guys.
Farewell. Blessed be.
We love you guys. All right, guys, see you in the future. Keep it shifty. One love.